morning. I'm Eric Reeser. The Cleveland Guardians held steady over the last 30 games without seven-time All-Star Jose Ramirez. J-Ram missed 5 weeks with a broken left hand, and Cleveland went 15-15 in his absence. Ramirez had a pair of hits last night, drove in a pair of runs, but the Guardians fell to the Twins 10-6. Cleveland can take the 4-game series with a win at Progressive today at 140. Guardians trail the White Sox by a game for the top spot in the AL Central. As for the Reds, Cincinnati made it 2 in a row with a 5-3 win over the Mariners last night in Seattle. Sal Stewart's 3-run shot in the 7th was the difference. Reds are off Thursday. Cincinnati's in St. Louis Friday. And in college football, 5-star running back David Gabriel George picked Tennessee over Ohio State. George is the second highest ranked rusher in the class of 2027. This update is sponsored by Germain Toyota. For unbeatable service and sales, visit Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road, or you can visit them online at germaintoyota.net.
Your morning just got more interesting. Distilled and barrel-picked for your listening pleasure. Bo Bishop, a local sports media legend. What William T. Sherman was to the Union Army, he is to Northern College football. A husband, a father, and middling youth sports coach. He's friends with Central Ohio sporting royalty.
Talking to Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjorken. Coach Day walking on with us right now. Good to see you, buddy. Good buddy, Austin Ward. My good buddy, Tim May, the Tim May Show. The great Doug Lavery's joining us.
Hi, everybody. Dom Barry here.
Oh, Reese came in and he handed me papers.
Yeah,
and then
it's a rundown.
And then he said, "You see that button? That's the only button you need to worry about. Don't touch. There's 8,000 buttons in front of me." Oh, I didn't know what he was talking about.
The one that says on.
We blew the budget on this imaging, and only 2 guys answered our ad on Craigslist. Ryan Baker and Eric Reeser. Act accordingly. You're now listening to Bishop and Friends.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years.
You know, I had in that award-eligible update Ole Miss, along with Tennessee, Ohio State, in the running for 5-star running back David Gabriel George. But I realized that the odds for Ole Miss actually landing DGG were about as high as Joshua supporting his son if he wants to play U37 football. Maybe even higher for Joshua supporting his son and playing beer league football. But I figured, scrap the Rebels. Just stick with the Buckeyes and the Volunteers. Obviously, went the way of the Volunteers, who get their first 5-star in the class. My yearly, and I feel like it's becoming bi-monthly almost, Joshua, reminder to don't tweet at high schoolers. Don't tweet at college kids. Don't send them messages on social media. David Gabriel George picked Tennessee, and we all know the reasons why.
So I think in this day and age, fewer fans are sending the tweet to the recruit that is like, "Oh, I hope you have a terrible career," or whatever it is, like the nasty tweet. The tweet they're sending now is, "Hey, when things don't work out in a couple years,"
I did see a lot of that.
"Circle back in the portal. We'd still love to have you around here." So if there's one positive from this world that we're in right now, is I think the fans understand that not burning the bridge, coming in second place in this world, not the worst case scenario, because you still might get the guy.
I mean, you mentioned Ole Miss, Quinshon Judkins, right? Starts his career in Oxford, Mississippi, and he ends up at Ohio State winning a national championship.
How about Caleb Downs?
Right? You talked about the talent that Kalen DeBoer was thinking he might be coaching, and so many Alabama guys now playing in Columbus. So not all is lost. At least we don't know. It's a 3-year contract. $3 million a year. What's the reported value for DGG at Tennessee? He's a Tennessee guy. There was a lot of talk in his recruitment process that he wanted his family at every single game. He had his family with him at the announcement last night. Reportedly, a Tennessee booster made that happen. The Volunteers have reportedly put it together where his family's going to join him on the road for games. I get all that.
Yeah.
Makes total sense. Okay with Ohio State not going in that direction.
Listen, man. The more I got to thinking about this last night after it happened, obviously Tennessee has been a program that at the top end you're like, they could be in the college football playoff. I don't think any of us are saying that they're going to win a title, but it's not pure disaster if they're clicking. But last year, what were they? 8-5, 8-4 regular season. They didn't beat a team with a winning record in FBS. Who knows what happens? Like, if they have a bad year this year, I don't know how people are feeling about Heupel down there.
Sure.
He's getting recruiting wins, but it doesn't feel like it's necessarily paying off on the field. Like, I think if you're Tennessee, you have to do all of that to beat Ohio State in a recruiting battle. And I think the flip side of that is, for as good of a player as DGG is, there were other factors beside winning and development that were important to either him or his family that swung the pendulum in Tennessee's direction. I'm not going to fault the kid for that. I hope he has a fine career. If things change, I ain't got no problem with the circle back, but This is just the world that we're living in right now. A team like Tennessee's got to get that kind of offer to beat a team like Ohio State in recruiting.
So while I find it hilarious that there are Ohio State fans out there saying, all right, well, give it a shot in Knoxville, see how it goes. But just remember, Columbus will accept you with open arms.
We'll always be here.
Because Ohio State, punted on 2027 recruiting him. I don't think they were as hard into 5-stars or 4-star running backs for the class of 2026, although they got a guy from Delaware. They have talent. They have talent on the roster. Currently, they've recruited talent there, but they made a big push to get DGG, and it's disappointing not to land that kind of a running back who, if you think he's worth more than $1 million a year, then I trust Ohio State's talent evaluation, and if that's the dollar amount they put on it, well, damn, he can't be nothing.
Reese, you used a word in talking about all this contract. That's a no-no. We don't like that. We don't like the word contract in all of this because you know what that means. But one thing, JP, you were talking about with the tweets and whatnot, I was taught young in life, try to never burn any bridges because you never know when you're going to have to go back. So I think that's one thing Ohio State has done very well in this in the recruiting process over the NIL time is, they kept tabs with Julian Sayin and Caleb Downs, and there was nothing dirty in the recruitment or, hey, we don't think you're worth this, or, well, if you can get that, go get it. It's just not what we are willing to offer up. Also, remember this time last year when we're talking about running backs, everybody thought James Peoples was the next big thing at Ohio State. And James Peoples really started to come on at the end of last year. But it was a true freshman Bo Jackson that nobody was really talking about that became the starting running back for Ohio State last year, and a guy that rushes for over 1,000 yards in his freshman season. Then a guy like Isaiah West, who was hurt as a freshman, came on and showed flashes at the end of the year. And I'm one who always thought it was crazy that we got in a world of football where we started downgrading running backs, because I always thought the running back was still very important. But there is a lot of guys that can play the running back at a very high level. I don't know if I would ever get in a bidding war for a running back because, as we saw last year, nobody thought Bo Jackson was going to be what he was, and he was great as a freshman.
So I think that's part of it. Number one is, I don't want to say those guys are a dime a dozen, but there are a lot of running backs that can get the job done. And in particular, if you're at a place like Ohio State where you feel like you're getting your offensive line together and you have a great developer, not only a great recruiter, but a great developer, and Locke coaching the backs, you feel pretty good about bringing the guys that you have evaluated, whether it's your top target or not, into the program. The other part about this, too, is in this world of NIL, I don't necessarily think I would want to be the first to do something. And what I mean is, I'm not sure I'm going to be the first to pay a running back $2 million a year. I'll let somebody else try that out, see how it works, and then I'll learn from that. Part of this is there's so much unknown, and you can either learn by doing or you can learn by watching. And I'd rather watch that one and then figure out if that's something we should do down the line.
Let another team set the precedent and be the example. Because I think, was Sorsby, is he the most out of the portal for a quarterback? Was his $6 million?
Might have been.
Might have been one of, if not the most paid for a quarterback out of the transfer portal, and he will not play a single down of college football for Texas Tech. He's out of the sport completely. So it is the ultimate buyer beware, because what does the return on investment look like for Tennessee with DGG in year one? You got to get over 1,000 yards?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's got to be your best player on offense at that point.
And if he's not, what happened?
Yeah, I mean,
you can't dock him any pay. You can't renegotiate the contract.
Are you willing to say that the year one production you're going to write off regardless of what it is, because it is year one and you had to pay that to get him in the door, but the year two and year three is what you're really banking on?
Sure.
Now, that's not my approach. I'm saying I need to maximize every dollar every year, but once again, it ain't my money, so I'm not going to tell him how to spend it.
James Peoples is at Penn State. I don't remember when that happened. Another player from last year's Ohio State team that hit the transfer portal was Lincoln Kienholz. He will be likely the starting quarterback at Louisville. The Cardinals are our 20 most interesting program today. We'll head down to Louisville and have a conversation about the Card. They're in an ACC where it feels like it's anybody's game.
Yes.
So if they get the quarterback spot right and they do some other work in the transfer portal, why not Louisville?
It's an interesting question to ask. Like it is open down there, and I've got a lot of thoughts on Jeff Brom as a coach, but that's an interesting program for sure.
And Dalton Pence, Locked On Louisville, will join us at 11:30 because, again, we're doing our 20 most interesting programs. We've got to move things up to 10 o'clock, and that thing today is our emails. So if you can get emails in before 10 o'clock, we'll be able to read those things on the air. It's also a time of hope for the Bengals and for the Cleveland Browns, but two very different versions of that word. We'll discuss that next. It's Bishop and Friends on The Fan.
All the 10 TV people come over to our side of the building to take a deuce. That should tell you something about how we operate. The Fan.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Tired of snoring? Sleep Better Columbus can help with a custom mouthpiece that opens your airway and stops the snoring. No mask, no noise. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com today. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
Veterans and active duty service members, when your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
The buzz is real at Zoombezi Bay's award-winning conservation tower. 3 all-new water slides, 1 thrilling experience. Make your splash at ZoombeziBay.com.
This is Gordon Miller for Miller Lending, the original home of the no-cost mortgage. If you've been in the market for a new home or just wanted to take advantage of lower rates, recent events have shown exactly why Miller Lending chose to offer a way around bad timing with our no-closing cost program. With no fees rolled in or charged, including the cost of title insurance, you can simply close on today's rates and refinance free of charge as rates improve. Over the past several months, we spoke to numerous borrowers who had heard rates were coming down and chose to wait. We explained that if rates did fall, you could simply update a few documents and refinance again, but why take the chance? So when rates spiked 0.5% recently, not only was I disappointed that we couldn't help those who waited, but also for those buying a home who just saw a sharp increase to their monthly payment. So while we can't control the market, we can offer an alternative. Eliminate timing and say goodbye to closing costs forever. 877-9-NO-COST or simply apply online at nocostmortgage.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender and MLS number 250-2146.
The Honda Summer Event is on at Lindsay Honda. Get red-hot deals on every new Honda. Save on a new 2026 Honda Civic CVT with 0% for 48 months or 0% for up to 48 months on all new 2026 Honda models, including the 2026 HR-V LX. Get ready for summer adventure in your new Honda. Enjoy the Lindsay Honda difference.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference.
Visit lindsayhonda.com for details.
Hi, I'm Connie Britton. I support Feeding America because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Learn more at feedingamerica.org. Feeding America. 200 food banks strong.
Hey, it's T-Bone again. Sleep apnea doesn't have to rule your nights. Sleep Better Columbus has been treating snoring and sleep apnea for over 15 years with proven results and now has an office open in Marysville. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or go to sleepbettercolumbus.com. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
Getting a speeding ticket can ruin your day. But what about that cyclist or the pedestrian crossing the street? If you hit them while speeding, you'll do more than just ruin their days. That's why tickets are more than just a fine. They're a second chance. A reminder of what's on the line when you're behind the wheel. You won't get a do-over every time. So take this as your sign to follow the speed limit every drive. Speeding slows you down. Paid for by NHTSA.
Hello! it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, commercial properties. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Buckeye Replay this summer takes you back to some of the greatest comebacks in Ohio State football history.
We go 85 yards through the heart of the South, Ohio State versus Alabama in the Sugar Bowl.
Hear Buckeye Replay this Saturday at 1 p.m. on The Fan.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Good deal of sunshine continues for the rest of the day. Comfortable out there with low humidity. Highs reach the upper 70s. Some passing high clouds develop tonight. Another coolish night with lows in the upper 50s. For your Friday, partly sunny, just a touch warmer, but still not bad. Lower 80s for your Friday. For The Fan, I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Justin Gers.
Miss a little, miss a lot. Catch Bishop and Friends wherever you get your podcasts. It's free.
Sponsored by Atlas Butler Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
The Fan. First Friday miracles are always better with Uncle Bo. This is Bishop and Friends.
Yes, it is. Eric Reeser, Joshua Perry, Ryan Baker with you until noon today. The Louisville Cardinals are our program in the 20 most interesting college football programs. We'll do the Cardinals at 11 o'clock again. Dalton Pence from Locked On Louisville will join us at 11:30. It's anyone's game in the Atlantic Coast Conference. Duke won the thing last year, and the Blue Devils missed out on the college football playoff, then lost their quarterback to Miami, who made the college football playoff. The Canes made the national championship. We all remember how that went for Miami in last year's playoff, but now James Franklin's in the conference. Lincoln Kienholz is the quarterback for the Louisville Cardinals, or at least he's in the competition. Likely the guy. But we'll see how this whole thing goes. They did a lot of portaling, Louisville did, and I wonder, Joshua, when we have those conversations about programs that really need to utilize the transfer portal for guys with their second, third chances to make something of their college football career, that's kind of the direction they need to go, at least at first.
I tend to agree with that. It feels like So we'll dive a little bit deeper into this. I feel like Jeff Brom is a perfect coach for the second chance guys.
Yeah.
So I think that is part of the way that they need to build. I also just don't know, like we just talked about the DGG recruitment. Like I don't know if they could ever get into that anyway. Like I think they have to sell what they can offer to players a little bit differently. It's not, we're going to get you the big package out of high school. You're going to come here and be the star. It's like, maybe you get a guy who needs a second chance, and it's like, dude, I want you here. Mm-hmm. I will work with you. We'll get you right.
Because I think their biggest or their most notable booster's been the Papa.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you can take Papa money or if he can be as big of a booster as the Raising Cane's guy.
Listen, once upon a time in my life, I had taken some Papa money. So we talked about it yesterday. Nothing wrong with
the pizza. I'm just the person.
If it's green.
Well.
But, yes, I think some people – maybe with stronger morals may object to taking money from certain sources.
No, look, it's the game. You need money. You need more money every single year, and you need to constantly find new streams of revenue in this game. And if you're not doing that, shame on you.
Yeah. Well, there are some teams, though, that in the privileged few that have decided that they're going to continue doing things differently. I know Michigan, Ward Manuel, and who knows what their next AD, but he opened up to the idea of putting advertisements inside of that stadium, which has not had it. I know Notre Dame is probably never going to do that, and I don't think I'd ever imagine them with the jersey patch. But, like, everybody else is kind of out here saying, well, if it's up to us and we need to generate money, whether we're begging boosters or we're going to corporate sponsors and we're putting their signage everywhere, we're going to do it.
I can guarantee you eventually Notre Dame and Michigan will have it. Because if you don't, you're going to fall behind. And the one thing that I know that those schools don't want to do is fall behind in football. They want to keep up with the Joneses. I mean, look at what Michigan has done the past few years to keep up in their athletic department, in their football program. So jersey patches is the least of these things that these schools are going to complain about here very shortly.
So I think the only way Notre Dame ends up doing that is if teams decide that they're not going to schedule them. Like USC has gone away for a little bit. They're trying to circle back on that. You know, they used to play Michigan State. They used to play Michigan, right? Like if teams say we're just not going to do it, that that TV contract that they have that they don't share with anybody else.
That's the biggest thing.
That is jeopardized, right? But as long as teams will schedule them, I think they're like, we're cool taking our share of money, and we got some rich people, we'll just ask them for it.
As long as they're able to squirrel away the NBC money by themselves, I think they are less likely than the schools like Michigan.
I think Michigan would break before Notre Dame would.
I absolutely agree with you. Like Penn State, I think those two schools, especially with Big Ten, those are closer. For no reason at all, I was looking at jersey patches yesterday, and so we'll have a greater discussion on that.
For no reason?
For no reason at all.
Okay.
And I just have eyeballs, and I was just looking on the Google to see what schools out there were doing sponsored jersey patches, because there are some that make total sense. There are others that don't really make sense with the company and the theme, but it all makes sense, and we're trying to find dollars however way we can. We're trying to make more and more money year over year because things are going up. It isn't lost on me that Ross Bjork came out and said Ohio State looks to be in the next couple of years an athletic department spending $500 million. Why? Because you have to if you're trying to play the game of competing at 36 sports at the highest level. This is the ask. This is the game. If you don't like playing it, I'm sorry. I would tell you.
You got to find a different game to play, I guess.
It's look, you could look at the NFL, but it's the same boat they're in. I mean, the Seattle Seahawks just got sold for $9 billion. So the money's going up there. We'll have conversation about the money being doled out to teams through rights for the NFL. No surprise, it's going up. NFL training camps began yesterday for a pair of teams. Rookies for the Cleveland Browns report today. Rookies for the Bengals report on Saturday. They'll both begin full camp next week. Hope for both teams in two different ways. Hope for the Cincinnati Bengals, you get a healthy Joe Burrow. You made great strides defensively to improve that unit. I think on paper, this is one of, if not the best roster, certainly in the AFC. So for Cincinnati, it's get to the Super Bowl.
Yes.
For the Cleveland Browns, the hope is, well, there's a new head coach. And there's hope for this Browns fan. I know you told me not to do it, but I'm going to do it. There's hope that this is the last training camp I, as a Browns fan, have to deal with Deshaun Watson.
You jinxed it.
Nope. That's it.
Nope.
We're done. So last season, Deshaun Watson in the Cleveland Browns uniform.
You're going to be a very sad man.
I am a sad man. I'm a Browns fan, Joshua.
Next July, talking about Deshaun Watson.
When they cut him in June, I'll buy your beers.
He is going to play just well enough now. Just well enough.
It would be the worst case scenario.
That is the worst case scenario.
Where he were to play well enough. Because I've avoided having the conversation because look, Cleveland's winning 5 games this season. And they're going to put themselves in better position to have a better shot at one of those quarterbacks in 2027. That's what I think this season's going to go. And so I've avoided having the conversation about what if Watson plays well, because I just don't think it's there
and
enough.
then he plays well enough that they win 9 games.
So the worst.
So I disagree with this just a little bit. And I hate the Deshaun Watson era in Cleveland as much as anyone because it's been a disaster. But if he goes out there and plays well, and I don't think this is happening, this is a big what if. But if he goes out there and plays well, and this team goes 10-7 or 11-6, him being back next year, I don't believe is the worst thing that possible for the Cleveland Browns. Now,
I just want to be off this ride.
I understand that, but if he's back, I don't think it's the worst thing. Now, if they're 5-12 and he's back, then that's a big problem. That might be worst case scenario.
I think best case scenario is you learn that Shedeur Sanders is a guy, and you already have a guy, and you can just build from there. The second best case scenario is Deshaun plays early and is terrible. Then you figure out that Shedeur is probably not your guy, and then you can move forward. You don't have a great year, but you have the answers to the test.
And we can see Taylon Green.
All right. That didn't even cross
in December,
my mind.
You're probably going to.
It's really unfortunate. Let me get back on track. The worst case scenario to me is not Deshaun is great again. It's that he's good enough. And then you have to deal with that. Then you have to deal with that. That would be the thing, is you want him to play to the point where he is an asset that you can trade to a team who maybe has a busted up quarterback, but is still like, we can make something, and you get him out of there, and then you just start fresh.
Because wouldn't that be the ultimate NFL ego trip to be like, oh, he's playing all right. I can make him better.
That's
like Deshaun's already shown you what he is. He's at best, his best was 2021. It's done. Let's please to the football gods, get me off this ride.
This is what NFL coaches are. They are the guy
incredible.
who goes into the cabaret and says, I can save her.
I can make it work.
I can save her. This is how NFL coaches think. So there's a possibility that can happen.
So we'll also coinciding with NFL training camps is our NFL Two-A-Day series, which we will walk towards kind of on the tail end of our 20 Most Interesting Program series, which walks us all the way up to Ohio State's training camp the first full week in August. I want to say it's the 5th, the 6th, and the 7th. We'll be doing 2 shows out there, and then the Saturday Spectacular will emanate from the Woody Hayes Athletic Center. And one of the best things I think that Ohio State's done with trying to find new money and also trying to make their, Bo says the phrase all the time, NFLU.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that trying to make the experience that Ohio State offers you the most NFL-like in college football. And this is part of that. I mean, the first time we went out there a couple of years ago, I've been up to Berea for NFL training camp, and it looked exactly, it felt exactly like it, and they ran it exactly like that. And it was something that I wondered, like, why aren't all teams doing this?
I don't think they can. Right? Like, I
think you're right.
So I think part of our mentality around this has to be that being in Columbus is one of the ultimate advantages in the whole setup, where if you open up training camp, you've got so many people in your backyard within a 30-minute drive that can say, yeah, I'll spend a morning or an afternoon doing this.
Yeah.
Like, not trying to disparage Iowa City.
Well, Penn State, too.
You know, like, yeah, I mean, these are places with great football culture. I don't know how many people they could realistically draw to come out to something like that. And so I think they would all want to do it. I'm just not sure it's as feasible as it is here in Columbus.
I also think that it's no coincidence with Ohio State, and obviously you have to have the fan backing, but look at the coaches with NFL experience on this roster.
Yeah.
Ryan Day has coached in the NFL. Arthur Smith, and before him, Chip Kelly had coached in the NFL. Matt Patricia now had coached in the NFL. James Laurinaitis, Tim Walton had played in the NFL. Tim Walton had coached some in the NFL. So I don't think that that's any shock with the NFL flavor that has come to the coaching staff, especially as the college game has gotten more NFL-like, that you see Ohio State doing the training camp better than anybody else in the game.
It's a great point.
Ohio State earlier in this calendar year unveiled the tunnel vision All Blacks, unveiled the gray back on their sleeves, the gray legacy stripe. It's coming soon for jerseys locally. We'll get into a patch conversation in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends on the Fan.
At ADP, we know you want your landscape business to succeed, but we don't know anything about landscaping. ADP only knows how to handle the business of your small business. So if ADP focuses on the payroll and the HR, while you focus on the land and the scaping, success should follow. Just don't expect us to know all about Kentucky bluegrass, zero-turn cutting, or what to do with a woodchuck. That's for you to figure out. Let ADP help your small business focus on the part of the business you're good at. ADP for small business.
When it's too hot to go out, it's definitely too hot for your AC to go out. The Waterworks Heating and Cooling Pros are here to help. We offer fast repair and AC replacement for any cooling system when you need it. Plus, we're a premier Lennox dealer and can install an energy-efficient system for a great price. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit us online at thewaterworks.com. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results.
AR, we got to tell the listeners about the Silverado deal at McDaniel GM Superstore in Marion.
Maddie, the 2026 Silverado 1500 2FL, save up to $12,000 off MSRP.
Or don't even buy it. Lease it for as low as $335 a month for 24 months.
$12,000 off, Maddie. That's not a typo. That's McDaniel.
Terms and conditions apply for well-qualified buyers.
Head to McDaniel GM Superstore just off Route 23 North on 95 in Marion.
Or shop it from your couch at McDanielGMSuperstore.com.
They've got the truck deal.
Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
Getting a speeding ticket can ruin your day. But what about that cyclist or the pedestrian crossing the street? If you hit them while speeding, you'll do more than just ruin their days. That's why tickets are more than just a fine. They're a second chance. A reminder of what's on the line when you're behind the wheel. You won't get a do-over every time. So take this as your sign to follow the speed limit every drive. Speeding slows you down. Paid for by NHTSA.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
What's up? What's up, man? What's up with you?
Sponsored by Apex Pros. The pros who knows.
Here's what's up on a Thursday, and for no reason whatsoever, I yesterday was looking around college football and finding the schools that had done deals for jersey patch sponsorships. I was just looking around. I was just interested, just to see the schools that had already made announcements. And some of them, were surprising. Some of them made the most sense in the world. Others, I didn't understand the connection. But Joshua, when the NCAA approved sponsored jersey patches in January, we said on this program, one's coming to Columbus.
Yes.
And I would almost guarantee, because I don't want to fully guarantee, that before Ohio State kicks off on September 5th against Ball State, the Buckeyes will have a sponsored jersey patch.
I think it'd be safe to guarantee.
Yeah, I get it. You have to find money wherever you can. And Andrew Lind, we bring up his Ohio State uniform database all the time. Like, he has curated the most extensive collection online of Ohio State football jerseys. Talk about it all the time. So Andrew Lind's the go-to guy, I think, when it comes to OSU uniforms. Has this from Nike that requires any potential advertisement patch to be team colored. So let's hypothetically say there was a scarlet uniform that Ohio State has. So not hypothetically, they have the scarlet uniform, but the Big Ten patch is white, the swoosh is white.
Sure.
So a potential sponsor logo, you'd want to have white.
Right.
And it'd be great if they could find like a circular logo.
Yeah.
That kind of fit like the O aesthetic that Ohio State's going for.
Are there any
but it's white.
businesses here, companies that do a lot of business around
off the top
here
of my head that
would fit
like
the
a circular
criteria? Maybe you got a huge campus up
You're
near
putting me on the spot here.
Polaris.
Up near you?
Yeah, where a lot of people, thousands of people work.
A banking institution, maybe?
Potentially.
Potentially.
I don't know.
You got to chase the money however you can.
Well, I know the bank's got the money.
I see what he did
I
there.
get this from Ohio State's standpoint. I also understand where people are going to be like, I'm not trying to have my team look like a NASCAR racer.
Yeah, so that to me is an interesting thing that people say because it feels like a very dramatic response to changes that they are resistant to. To me, if Ohio State was going to get into this, by the way, like the Nike portion of it never crossed my mind that they would probably also want to have standards on what one of their biggest brands
would
look like with a patch on their jersey. But I also think Ohio State was always going to be tasteful about whatever went on there. Like, I don't think they ever wanted it to detract from one of the most recognizable uniforms in all of sports. Like, I always believe that whatever a patch would look like would be as small as you could do it without turning off companies from wanting to do business with you, and it would blend really well. It wouldn't be this ugly monstrosity. And the whole NASCAR thing, like, we're not putting 50 patches on a jersey. It's going to be one little thing.
One or two.
And by the way, when we do it with the bowl games, I'm sure those jersey patches are much bigger and louder and a little bit more grating to look at than whatever the sponsorship patch is going to be.
It was like a Battle Frog Fiesta Bowl patch, Joshua. You might have been on that team. That it was just large.
It's a big patch. Those patches are big. And by the way, like, I get why they are. It was never going to look like that for a sponsorship patch.
I don't even know what a Battle Frog is. It isn't a thing anymore.
I understand
They did the Fiesta Bowl for a hot minute.
The uniform. And, it's the uniform. I've never once watched a football game and been like, you know what, that jersey patch is out of control. that jersey patch is taken away from my viewing of this game. Like, what? These are things that I just don't understand why people have a problem with. It's not like you're going to put a big nationwide sticker on the side of the Ohio State football
Don't give them ideas, Baker.
and change the helmet. But like a little patch up top or a little patch above the name, like I don't get that. And again, I've talked about this before. I would much rather have this stuff than you asking me to round up.
So expect it from Ohio State. Expect an announcement sometime before the season.
Sure.
And it'll probably be fine. You'll look at it. If you don't like it at first, I'd say give it a minute. You won't notice it. It's not going to be like what the Big 12's doing, and they're going to have their Big 12 patch co-branded with Monster Energy.
Right.
So
plus another patch if you can do business.
Kansas has XRP cryptocurrency on theirs.
I don't think I like that.
Along with Monster and the Big 12. I don't know what the cryptocurrency has to do with Kansas, but for the Jayhawks, you got to find the money. BYU, their Provo-based tech company, Entrada.
What do they do?
I think it's like a real estate AI.
Let's look it up.
But they missed, I think, a real good opportunity to do Crumble, just with how the offseason went and keeping Kalani Sitake and James Franklin serving Crumble cookies at the Virginia Tech press conference where he was introduced. Oklahoma State's Osage Nation is their patch. It's an Indian reservation with casinos in Oklahoma. South Florida, the Bulls, you talked about it on Monday, Tampa General Hospital. California.
Can I say something real quick?
Of course.
I think it now, the casinos and the crypto, I have a thing about that. It is what it is. A hospital system putting a patch on a jersey feels, and we see this, like, I think the Chargers, we had one of the Southern Cal hospital systems.
The Browns do one, too, for their practice uniforms.
And it's hilarious to me where the hospitals are like, yeah, buy sponsorship.
All the hospital bills that could have been paid with that money.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting at. Like, it's pretty damn expensive to walk in there in the first place. They're like, yeah, buy sponsorship. We got plenty of money.
Michigan State has the Michigan State University Federal Credit Union sponsor on theirs. And
sure.
Theirs is a very large patch. Like, you won't be able to not see it on the Spartan uniforms. Wisconsin's, I think, got the most perfectly matched one at Culver's.
I fully agree.
Cheese curds in Wisconsin.
So this is one thing, Reese, that you talked about with Nike, where they're not going to let the jersey patch be different colors than the jersey. And we looked at the Wisconsin one with the Culver's, and obviously Wisconsin is red and white, and Culver's is blue. I thought they were Adidas, but they could be Under Armour. They're not Nike. That's where you're going to see maybe it stick out a little bit. Like, if Nike has one for Ohio State where it has to be white or red or scarlet, or gray, whatever, but a blue would stick out a little bit. And even then on the Wisconsin jerseys, when you saw the pictures of them, it doesn't look bad. You're not going to notice it.
So can I mention, this is completely off topic, but the first time I ever saw a Michigan State University Federal Credit Union was in Chicago.
Really?
Yes.
Huh.
Thought it was really odd.
And out of place almost.
Yeah. Very interesting.
They missed the boat. I mean, Rocket Mortgage is right there for them, but I do think Dan Gilbert gives enough money to Michigan State where they're like, let's, find some new. It's, again, all about finding new money.
Yes.
It's not about the donors you've gone to multiple times already that they will continue to go to. It's all about getting new revenue streams in for your athletic departments, because a lot of the schools that I mentioned are going to have those logos on all of their uniforms. LSU's got Woodside Energy on all of their athletic department uniforms. Arkansas, Tyson Foods, also kind of perfect.
Yes, it is.
Every Razorback athletic uniform is going to have a Tyson Foods thing on it. California, the first in the ACC, which I had to write down because, Cal Berkeley's in the ACC, has an AI platform, Dialpad, which is the official AI platform for fan experience of Cal athletics. Like, go back 5 years and try to explain this to a college football fan. I think their head might spin around and pop off.
I think mine would have.
This is where we're at.
I mean, we just gotta settle into this world. I think the more we're in it, the more we'll be like, it is what it is.
Yeah. I mean,
Should we make a poll and try to get people's opinions on the jersey patches? Because I know a lot of people are against it, and I'm just not sure. I'm just not sure why.
Love it, leave it, indifferent.
I like that.
Yeah.
Because I think there is a larger portion of the fans out there that just don't care. But because it's new, it's discussion. So if you have a pair of eyeballs and were on social media yesterday, you saw something that made you have a feeling. It made you had an opinion on something.
Yeah.
And it was discussed.
Sure.
And that thing that that may or may not have happened yesterday, that may or may not be about Ohio State, may or may not be announced sometime in the near future.
May or may not be a
not have
photo
an opinion on it.
Floating around social media.
Like, we have eyeballs, guys. Like, that's not going to get too much into it, but we have eyeballs. And so if you're going to have something that people put eyeballs on and you want to hold off on it, don't let anybody put eyeballs on it.
Yeah, I mean, yes.
By the way,
yes.
This certain photo that may or may not have been floated out there, Kenyatta Jackson looks weird in number 2 to me.
He did it.
It looks weird in
He
number
just
2.
did it. He just did it.
Just go there.
It looks weird.
Ah, man. What a time.
I was thinking yesterday, you talk about numbers, and Kenyatta Jackson going from 97, I think, to number 2 this season, with David Gabriel George and Tennessee giving him 0. I'm thrilled that they didn't say you can also have 0 if you come to Ohio State. Like, that's the Block O. Give it to Connor Hawkins, who will be our savior this season for the Buckeyes.
Who do we think is going to get that? The Block O.
That's a good question we'll think about in the break and discuss next. It's Bishop and Friends on The Fan.
The only workplace in America to participate in the Doorknob Fart Game. And we also play office basketball and sometimes do radio. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Iconic summer moments deserve an iconic drink. Reach for Mountain Dew, an American original. From its beginnings in the foothills of Tennessee to your biggest summer yet. The refreshing citrus kick of Mountain Dew is the perfect companion to your American summer adventures. Enjoy the refreshing citrus kick of Mountain Dew. Tasting great since 48. Look for Mountain Dew in stores near you at mountaindew.com. That's mountaindew.com.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
Summer heats up fast here in Columbus, and bad windows can have a tough time keeping a home cool and can send energy bills through the roof.
I hate to admit it, but we've had some complaints about our windows doing that.
Uh-oh.
I just tell them it's just like being at the beach, minus the water and the beach and the happiness, and you're in your living room. It's gross.
Get the windows that Columbus homeowners rated the leading window brand at PellaColumbus.com.
Anytime is a great time to give to the Salvation Army, and now through August 1st, you can donate to a Red Kettle Thursdays through Saturdays at participating Kroger and Walmart stores. Join Atlas Butler, Jets Pizza, and our volunteers to give a little, change a lot. SalvationArmyCentralOhio.org.
Common Man here for GoGermain.com. Are you in the market for a pre-owned vehicle? Yes? Stop what you're doing and check out GoGermain.com. They're having their biggest pre-owned sale of the year. Every single vehicle is on sale and comes with a 72-hour exchange policy plus a 3-month warranty. No one's going to sell you a car for less. They have over 4,600 cars to choose from with over 1,500 under $30K. So go for the biggest selection. Go for the lowest price. GoGermain.com. Tell them Common Man sent you. Common Man and Timmy here for our friends at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Hey, Timmy, that new hotel is open and it's amazing.
It really is. Also, we have red, white, and win drawings on Saturdays in July. You can step into the flying cash machine for a chance to win up to $2,000 in pen cash.
And the best part, all you can eat crab legs are back. Be here on Tuesdays in July and August from 4 to 10 for Canadian snow crab legs with butter, corn on the cob, and Hawaiian rolls.
Yeah, Hawaiian rolls. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
They say
gigantic overdraft fee.
At Right Pat Credit Union, we say, hey, mistakes happen to the best of us. They say,
due to high call volumes, wait times may be longer than expected.
We say, how'd the kids' soccer match go? They say,
gotta maximize those shareholder returns.
We say, you deserve better. Right Pat Credit Union. Banking done right. Federally insured by NCUA.
CEC Turf and Tractor is growing. We're proud to welcome Green & Sons Equipment's Mount Sterling and Marysville locations. Same hometown service you trust, now with the strength of one of Ohio's largest Kubota dealers. Visit CECTurfandTractor.com today.
With rates lower than the national average, plus special rates on balance transfers, a BMI Federal Credit Union Visa Platinum or Visa with Rewards credit card would be the perfect card for your wallet. Visit bmifcu.org/visa for more details and to apply today.
Say goodbye to car care headaches with Carvenience from Hinderer Motor Company. This is Justin Hinderer. For only $49, we'll pick up your vehicle, leave you with a rental, and return it fully serviced and spotless. No more juggling your schedule or wasting hours at the shop. Carvenience lets you focus on what matters, while we take care of all the rest, making life easier. Schedule your service today at HindererMotorCompany.com.
Bring bold flavor to every cookout with Billiards Plus. Shop top-of-the-line grills and turn every cookout into a win. Then bring the fun inside with pool tables, shuffleboard, and more. Everything for the ultimate game room. Billiards Plus. Grills, games, and good times. Online or on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Join our degenerate gambler Steve Biddle at Scotty Vegas every Sunday morning at 9 for On the Money.
Presented by Krieger Ford. Your best bet for a new car or truck. Visit Krieger Ford on Morse Road today or go online at KriegerFord.com. The Fan Poll is sponsored by JT's Pizza and Pub, home of award-winning pizza and $2 tall boys. All day, every day.
Our top men are working on everything except this show. This is Bishop and Friends.
We did have to bring in a top man for this segment because, and you can see it at 971 BFS, we now have a T-shirt. This has been something in the works for a long time. It's got the silhouettes of the three on this program, Bo Bishop, myself, Ryan Baker. So the way I'll sell it is at 971 BFS, the link's there. If you want to wear a T-shirt with Bo Bishop's silhouette, you have the opportunity, and also myself and Baker. Mine has a mustache, and you can see I'm not rocking the mustache. Conversations,
but you could be by noon today.
I guess if I wanted to. Conversations between my girlfriend and I have included the word elope. So I'm not trying to add any more facial hair onto this. Just going to be clean shaven and look nice for the potential for pictures. But the man who's really been behind all of this for so long, and I wanted to give you, I want to give Jen your proper flowers. Scotty Vegas joins us for the Fan Store's grand reopening.
Yes. Well, each show now has a new shirt to market. And I love my favorite part about the design of your guys' show shirt is how strict Bo was about the exact amount of hair that's represented in his beard. Like, I mean, we had to go back 3, 4, 5 different times with design options for Bo because, gosh, this beard had to look absolutely perfect. And I think the way the hair came out and the way the beard came out, I think it's perfect.
The best facial hair on the air is how the shirt is phrased. And yeah, I mean, Bo's the Blocko of the show, right? So we were talking in the last segment, Scotty, about of this Ohio State roster, who is that guy for this season? Because you weren't going to give DGG 0, because that's the Blocko, goes to your unquestioned leader. And so Joshua asked the question in the break, and I'm glad you're here because I want to get your thoughts on it as well. Joshua, who did you think on this current Ohio State roster could own that Blocko this season?
I mean, one of the first players to pop into my mind was Brandon Ennis.
Yeah.
He's been a captain before. You know, he's a guy that people have pointed to in terms of his leadership and what he provides to the team. He is a veteran player. I don't think you look at part of the selection of the Blocko is like, who is a guy who's not going to embarrass us? Like, there's zero chance he's going to do anything dumb that would embarrass us. And I don't think they ever get the vibe that he would do anything like that. So that was an initial thought for me was Brandon Ennis, who's a veteran guy who's been a captain, would be a prime candidate for it.
So the first thing that popped into my head was one of the linemen, whether it's Hinsman, Montgomery, or Sareveld, and I think I landed on Sareveld. So I think it's going to be either Austin Sareveld or, as you mentioned, Brandon Ennis. And the reason I would want it to be Ennis is because he gets to wear it. If it's one of the linemen, they don't get to wear it, and they just have to have the patch like Thayer Munford did back a few years ago. But I'm guessing it's going to be Austin Sareveld.
Yeah, and I hate to be boring, but I agree with Joshua. Like, Brandon Ennis to me is the first name that popped in my head, and I'm like, that's probably it right there. So I know that's kind of the boring answer, but that's the first name that popped.
I look to the 3 players that Ohio State's going to Big Ten Media Days with next week, Jeremiah Smith, Jalen McClain, and Julian Sain. And while those are 3 of your unquestioned leaders, are those the Blocko? Are those the kind of guys that would rock the Blocko like that? Like, that would be Jeremiah's not going off of 4. That's kind of his brand.
Yep.
Julian's not going off of 10.
I also I don't want my quarterback, and I know he probably wouldn't wear it anyway, but I don't even want to think about my quarterback with a 0. Period. Like, I don't I know it's the Blocko, but like, I'm cool on that.
Sure.
I feel like it's a different mentality anyway of the guy who's getting it. Like, I'm good. He doesn't have to be that guy.
I saw JB in the YouTube chat said Peyton Pierce for the Blocko. I wonder on that side of the ball, like, could Kenyatta be given the Blocko? Although he's, again, switching from 97 to 2. And I'll be very interested to see what Kenyatta looks like in that number 2 jersey.
Think about
if he's going to get the Blocko. Well, no, he switched his number. He wants 2.
If you went 97, which legendary, 2,
the lineage
legendary, and then it's like, yeah, we're going to throw the Blocko on top of that.
Because there's 2. There's a lot with 2.
Yes.
But also, yeah, the Blocko. So very interesting to see how that gets assigned, who owns that mantle, and then how it looks with whichever player who's earned it deservedly so. Now, what I wanted to do is, because Bo's not here, and Scotty, you had mentioned, breakingt.com is where our fan shirt store is. Click on it. Click on breakingt.com, or just type it in. Search Bishop and Friends. Don't search any of the other shows. I know they have their other shirts, and those are really cool, but you only want the Bishop and Friends shirt because it's the only thing that's going to really impress your friends. Like, I can see it on you all now. The Bishop and Friends t-shirt, the best facial hair on the air. You look great. Babe, you look great in this shirt. Bo's not here. He didn't do the job of sending in his shirt size. So I'm going to give Bo's shirt away on the air.
Yes, let's do it.
What we'll do at 971 BFS, Joshua was recognized at a gas station on Tuesday. What was the high school highlight that Joshua was reminded of at that gas station earlier this week? If you remember the incident at 971 BFS, I don't know if I can guarantee the first person, but I can guarantee that if you send it and it's the correct incident Joshua was remembered for at 971 BFS, we'll get you Bo's shirt.
Do we want them to comment on the post that you posted of the shirt with the link?
I'll just say at 971 BFS because we'll be able to see it that way, and you'll get your social media flowers, but also you'll get Bo's shirt. So Bo doesn't get one. He'll have to spend the couple dollars. It costs.
I think he's got it.
I do too.
Yeah, he'll be all right.
He'll be all right with
now,
it.
let me ask you guys this, because you guys have been talking jersey patches this morning, and so you've got your own shirt now. Let's say you could pick any kind of jersey patch, any kind of shirt patch that we're throwing like right on the sleeve to really represent you. It could be anything out there. What would be your jersey patch?
Roosters.
So fun casual patch.
Fun casual joint.
Yeah,
that's what I'd want
good
on
answer.
mine.
I got to think about it.
I'm thinking too. It's a little bit more difficult than Baker's making it seem like it is.
Captain Morgan would be a good one for me too.
Captain.
Yes, it would.
That's the swing.
I've seen you out on the golf
That's
course.
the official swing lube of
I mean,
myself.
Miller Lite. I have my fair share of that.
Yeah.
I mean, I drink enough Panera coffee in the morning that I'd take that logo.
Could I get a patch that was sponsored by Scotty Vegas's gambling habits?
There you go.
The Vegas Sportsbook.
I think we can arrange that. In fact, Ryan, I brought in a shirt. I got this shirt on the money shirt that we did in the fan store about a year and a half ago, and I ordered it for you, and I forgot to give it to you, and I just found it. So I did bring it in. It's from Breaking Tea. That's still up on the share. But yes.
I thought I got my on the money shirt.
You haven't worked on that show in about 2 years.
It's been a while.
But we got that.
So we've got shirts for every show. Bishop and Friends, Morning Juice, T-Bone and Tyvis have burpees and farties. The Juice is loose.
The Morning
is for
Juice
morning
shirt
juice.
is pretty good.
The White Bronco. I think that missed the mark not having Bodie hanging out at the side of the Bronco, but we could do revisions to these shirts. Common Man and Timmy have a shirt. Buckeye Show's got a great shirt. The San Diego of the Midwest. Rothman and Ice have a great shirt. So if there's anything on the money.
No, you got it. You
guys are ready to go with that. Breaking Tea. Tremendous job out of you and Jen for getting that all together and fighting for what is a no-brainer for a place like the Fan.
Well, okay, one other question for you guys. So we've been looking at different merch to order for the Fan store and for the hosts through the fall. And one thing that's come up, and Matty Ice brought this up, was he wants fan bucket hats for the fall. Like he's like, all right, we're going to be out doing these hot tailgates all these summer. And I was like, boy, I was surprised by Matty's answer of what kind of merch he would want would be a fan bucket hat. Where do you guys stand on bucket hats? Because that surprised me out of Matty.
I like a bucket. My dad is actually the king of the bucket hat. I mean, he went from, the Kangol era. Now he just kind of wears whatever bucket's out there. So I think it would be pretty good.
Okay. All right.
So it's a week late for me because I'd have used it all last week in the pool in Florida.
Right, and
so
I used one. And I used mine at Myrtle Beach too. Yeah. So that kind of got me going. I was like, oh yeah, we could do the.
I wore my CBJ one instead, but I would have rocked the Fan one all week.
Okay,
I think the Fan bucket hat does fit with us here.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a hat guy. I have good enough hair. I don't want it to be held down by anything. So if we're gonna do a hat, bucket would be the best because that's the leisure hat, right?
Yeah. So I'll tell you the other thing that would actually play really well for people in this building and probably people listening is a pair of Fan slides. So yeah. You got the comfortable footwear.
But you got to have the store first. And so we have that at breakingt.com. Again, search Bishop and Friends for your Bishop and Friends Best Hair on the Air shirt. I'll try to run through a winner for our question at 971 BFS to get Bo's shirt. We'll let you know at 10 o'clock. Scotty, thanks so much for all the hard work you do. Thank you, Jen. I know you're out there dropping F-bombs on somebody. You guys put in such a good amount of work to get this done. We're at the finish line with this, and so more things, better things on the horizon. Thanks for joining us, bud.
Thank you, guys.
Some breaking Blue Jackets news and your emails coming up next. It's Bishop and Friends on The Fan.
The sound of Paul Keels calling a Buckeye game is erotic. Oh, yes. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Something big has just dropped at Hothead Burritos. Introducing barbecue pork carnitas. Juicy, mouth-watering pork carnitas. Our limited-time new citrus chipotle barbecue sauce. Savor the summer flavor. Hothead Burritos. Get up and get you some.
Joint pain is awful when you're the person who's fighting through it. But I'm betting you aren't the only one affected by it. Maybe you love someone who struggled with joint pain. You see what they don't say, what they slowly stop doing. It's July. It's time to be outside, moving, playing, living, and you have to sit it out. Hey, it's Tyvus Powell. Let's talk about getting that life back. At QC Kinetics here in the Columbus area, that's what's happening every day with Dr. Ray Tasner and his team. People who are stuck in that cycle of pain in their hips, knees, shoulders, and back, they are finally stepping out of it with regenerative treatments done right here in the office. No surgery, long recovery, or putting life on hold. Just real relief. The inflammation eases and the pain lets go. We hear it all the time, not just from patients, but from the people around them. He's back. She's herself again. So if this sounds like you or someone you love, go find out what's possible. QC Kinetics offers a free consultation to see if you're a good candidate. Go to QCkinetics/Columbus or call 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544.
Scotty Vegas here, and my new Bronco from Krieger Ford might go down as one of my best purchases of all time. I love it. The family loves it. I decided to get my wife's car some much-needed service. Krieger Ford conveniently picked up her car. I was prepared to spend a ton on repairs. Nope. They walked me through the problems, and it was fixed and brought back to our driveway in a day. Plus, saved me some money for some summertime parlays. The Krieger Ford experience is awesome. See for yourself at KriegerFord.com.
Life is full of uncertainties. You can't control the economy, the prices at the pump, or the grocery store, and you certainly cannot control the weather. But the one thing you can control is your home's efficiency and comfort. Steve here from USA Insulation. Let us help you take back control of your home by insulating your walls with our premium foam. You give us a call today, we'll come out, we'll insulate your walls, and we'll throw in your attic for free. So give us a call today, 529-2440 or USAinsulation.net.
USA Insulation.
Peach season is here at UDF, but it won't last long. Right now, buy 2 large cartons of UDF peach ice cream for just $10. You're gonna want to stock up. Peach ice cream is back at United Dairy Farmers for a limited time.
McDonald's is putting value back on the menu. Whether you're craving a Big Mac, McNuggets, or sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddles, make it a meal and save. Your favorite is now your wallet's favorite too. Extra value meals are back.
Enjoy a $5 sausage McMuffin with egg extra value meal, complete with hash browns and a small coffee. Most stores open 5 a.m. or earlier. Price and participation may vary. Promotion pricing may be lower than meal pricing.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the 3rd time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner.
Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Common Man and Bob Capace here. So, Bob, you got this ring builder thing on your website.
Yep, you pick the diamond, the setting, customize your own engagement ring before you even come in this store.
I actually tried it.
You did?
It was ridiculously easy.
See, if Common Man can build a perfect ring online,
anybody can, because I'm dumb.
Then book an appointment and we'll help make it exactly the way you designed it.
That's why I always tell people, I know a guy. You too can design your own engagement ring with the ring builder at worthingtonjewelers.com. If I can do it, anyone can.
Worthington Jewelers, where Columbus gets engaged.
There's this thing repair people do nowadays.
Mappo's Plumbing. Sure. We do have a dispatch fee. It's $1 zillion.
A dispatch fee, a trip charge, going out to your house bill.
Bippity Bing Bong Electrical. Our trip charge is a nice new car.
But not Apex Pros, the pros who knows. When you call Apex for repairs on your AC, plumbing, or electric, there's no dispatch fee.
Thank you for calling Apex Pros. Why would we? Kinda silly to ask for money before we do anything, isn't it?
We give you an upfront price only after we know what's really going on. We think it's the right thing to do, instead of...
Slappy's AC, electric, plumbing, dry cleaning, haberdashery, and chiropractic. Of course we charge to come out. $1 kajillion, 3 diamond rings, and 2 exotic pets.
Apex Pros. Never a dispatch fee. Examples of competitive rates may have been slightly exaggerated.
Columbus loves Apex Pros. The pros who knows. ApexPros.com.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios. Driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. The Columbus Blue Jackets and goaltender Jet Greaves have avoided arbitration. Both sides reached an agreement this morning. 3 years, $15 million. The 25-year-old Greaves made 54 starts for the CBJ last season, posting a .908 save percentage. Jackets and forward Cole Sillinger await arbitration this coming Monday in Toronto. In baseball last night, Jose Ramirez returned from a 5-week IL stint because of a broken left hand. J-Ram had a pair of hits, drove in a pair of runs. Guardians fell to the Twins 10-6. They look to take the 4-game series against the Twins with a win today at 1:40. As for the Reds, Cincinnati made it 2 straight with a 5-3 win over the Mariners last night in Seattle. Sal Stewart's 3-1 shot in the 7th was the difference. Reds off on Thursday. This update sponsored by Ramos Roofing. Request your free roof or exterior assessment today at RamosRoofingOhio.com. Ramos Roofing, reliable, local, built right.
The show that understands the importance of a situational beverage. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Yes, you are. Eric Reeser, Joshua Perry, Ryan Baker on with you at this Thursday edition of the program. We got a winner for Bo's t-shirt. I'll let you know here in a second once I get everything finalized, but you all understood the assignment very well. We just won't tell Bo about this, okay? Joshua, I know a guy that maybe can get you a Bishop and Friends shirt if you so choose, but BreakingT.com, search Bishop and Friends. The only search you need to enter in that, or the only shirt you need to purchase. And then we have other fan merchandise. That's where you want to go to get that.
So, Bo not having the shirt.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's not here.
I know. Is he going to buy the shirt? Somebody's going to give it to him.
Probably. So the shirt that is supposed to be saved for Bo is going to one of our listeners.
Sure.
And my guess is he's got enough pull around here to get one.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
But I would love to see Uncle Bo have to click onto the website, punch in all his details, pay for the express shipping because he's got the cash for it,
well, that's the
and
thing.
then wait by the door for the FedEx man to pull up.
So here's my question with the shirts, Reese. Would it be weird for all of us to wear our own show shirts?
No. Why? Why would that be weird?
I don't know.
We got to be our own advocate.
Like if we work with Scotty and we get a JP shirt up at the Breaking Tees
I'd wear one of those.
website, I would wear one of those, but should I wear our own Bishop and Friends shirt?
So, to answer your question, I feel like yes is the right answer. I had a podcast once upon a time, and I had T-shirts, and my face was on it, and I wore it.
Okay.
Unapologetically.
Yeah.
Because I wanted people to find the podcast and to listen to it.
Right. And if you're out in the wild, and it's like the concert T-shirts or band T-shirts. You're walking around and somebody looks at you, get your Bishop and Friends shirt on. They might not recognize you, but they look at that thing you're wearing and be like, I like that thing.
Well, the other part about it, too, is this shirt that you guys would be wearing is not nearly as bad as the one that I was talking about with my actual likeness on it because it's the facial hair. Right? So it's not as bold as like this is me plastered on the front of a shirt. It's like this is some sort of imagery of me, but it's up to the imagination for you to make the connection.
Yeah, I think the silhouette's here, and I'm holding it up to the camera, so it may or may not get it. But at 971BFS, we have the link to go purchase the shirts. You can also, what Breaking T does well is if you want to get a sweatshirt, you can also just have this printed on that. And again, the hope with this is because Jen and Scotty have put in so many hours to get the fan store up and running, is that we build towards more items. So maybe...
Sorry, hold it up again, and I'll zoom in on it while you're talking.
Okie dokie, yes. Top Man Baker putting the zoom function on. If you haven't, I mean, this is tremendous radio, but on YouTube you can see it. But again, also at 971 BFS. You heard there in the award-eligible update that the Blue Jackets and goalie Jet Greaves avoided arbitration. Greaves has agreed to a 3-year, $15 million deal with the CBJ. Elliot Friedman had the reporting first. Aaron Portzline comes in and says, well, they were thinking $5 million. That's what the average annual value for this contract is. And Greaves is 25. He was really good last season. 26, 19, and 9 was his record. A pair of shutouts, .908 save percentage. He's your unquestioned netminder here. I do, Baker, have a little bit of a feeling paying two goalies $5 million each, but the Elvis Merzlikins contract is it's there, and I don't think there was a hope that you maybe be able to get out from under that, but that's not the case. So your goaltenders are going to be making $10 million.
So and it sure seems like the roster is set heading into the year, but I don't think there's any guarantee, Reese, that you're going to be paying two goaltenders that, because you could still get a buyout of Elvis. Maybe you still get a trade before the season. Maybe you get into training camp and somebody's goaltender gets injured, goes down. So there are ways. I don't think there's any guarantee. I do think it sure seems like the roster is set, which is really disappointing to me. You know that I wanted them to go sign Patrick Kane or at least try. Mm-hmm. He signed, he was going back to Chicago this year on a 2-year, $8 million deal. Yep. So that was a little bummer for me. But it sure seems like this Blue Jackets roster is set. You got the re-signing of Danton Heinen yesterday. Jet Greaves is locked up for the next 3 years. So it looks like this is what you're moving forward with.
So Kirill Marchenko's still got a year left on his deal, if I'm not mistaken. There's still the Adam Fantilli albatross out there.
Which is crazy to me. That's not done yet.
And I know Cole Sillinger and the Jackets have scheduled arbitration this coming week in Toronto, but I just looked to Don Waddell. What's taken so long with the Fantilli thing here? I think the longer you wait, the less easy I feel about it.
But if you're Fantilli, wouldn't you want to wait a little bit?
I don't blame him.
That's
I
the
don't
other
blame
part
him.
of it.
I can't. The Carlson thing dictates, with the numbers being the same or similar numbers between the two players.
Right.
Well, you got the Bedard deal that came out that was 5-year, $15 million, so it was less than Carlson.
Sure.
And Bedard has better numbers than both. So I think that should temper that a little bit. I think most of the NHL and most of these agents know that 5-year, $18 million deal was an outlier. And it was trying to force Anaheim into a situation where they're going to lose players at some point, however that is, because they're going to have to sign Cutter Gauthier too. So that was Philly putting Anaheim in a tough spot. It's just the numbers are out there now. I'm not sure what they're waiting on. I'm guessing it's a term. I think the Jackets still want to try to go 8 while they can. And I think Fantilli's camp wants that 5-year deal, kind of like the other two.
For every sport, right? Like with the conversation that we've had throughout the program, that we've had throughout programs that we've had for a couple of years now, is the price just keeps going up. Mm-hmm. And I know for Fantilli's camp, it just keeps going up. I want to get to this real quick because it is a segment we do Thursdays at 11 o'clock. We got to move it because our 20 most interesting program centers on the Louisville Cardinals. We'll do that in the 11 o'clock hour. And I don't tell people where to send these, but our listeners do a great job with our emails.
Our comment box is always open. Any feedback is mostly appreciated.
The mail never stops. It just keeps coming and coming and coming. There's never a let-up. It's relentless. Every day it piles up more and more and more, and you got to get it up. And the more you get out, the more it keeps coming in. Again.
Bishop and Friends present Emails.
Sponsored by Window Nation. Buy 4 windows, get 4 free sale. Visit windownation.com now.
This comes to us from Peggy, and based off of a conversation we had last week about movies rated PG-13 or R that maybe we saw a little bit earlier than we should have, or uncomfortable movie scenes that you're watching with your parents, and Bo, as a dad, as he's watching stuff with his eldest, has to realize, I don't remember that scene happening, or that's an uncomfortable place to be. But Peggy says, I don't remember watching inappropriate movies with my parents, but at 14, my friend had cable, and we watched Clockwork Orange. Too much. Also, The Exorcist at about 16. That was also a lot, though she says she continues to love scary movies. Peggy, thank you so much for the email. Yeah, not sure like the first time I saw a rated R movie, but I remember going to see The Matrix Reloaded with my mom and my brother and walking out of the theater and my mom turning us and be like, that might have been a little too much for you guys. We were 12, 13 at the time.
I saw the movie The Fly. Have you seen that?
Oh. At what age?
I think I could have been no older than 8 years old. Okay. And I had nightmares for weeks off of that movie. Like him, actually, the scene where he's physically morphing into the fly, I couldn't sleep after watching that. I have no idea why I was watching it, why I was allowed to watch it, but it happened.
So I don't remember like the first rated R movie or seeing something that scared me, but I do remember this. I want to say it was freshman year. In English class, we had to read the Scarlet Letter, and then we watched the movie. And I believe, is there a version of it with Demi Moore, I think, or whatever? But somehow in that movie, she ends up topless. And I remember our English teacher jumping in front of the television screen with her arms stuck wide out, like trying to block us all from seeing it.
Yes, it does feel like, and Joshua, I have mentioned that this is very much what we're doing here with Ryan Baker and myself. We're the AV cart of sports talk radio. Just kind of get wheeled in and, turn your brain off. If you're a teacher doing that, shouldn't you have done some scouting on what you're going to be showing at first? Or is it just one of those things, that'll learn sometime?
Yeah, I think you probably preview, right? It would make sense, at least to me, that you would preview. But some of these teachers, they were just like, hey, this should be fine. We read the book. If it's based off of the book, it could be okay.
And I wonder, now with streaming and the accessibility of every kind of content, like puts the onus on the parents even more so than ever.
Yeah.
Because I think each app has its own parental controls, but T's and P's to going and selecting every different app and putting a different parental control on and then trying to remember all of those passwords.
Well, we can get you the password manager.
And you gotta remember the password for that thing. We got an email from Bob that I want to get to because it's about the changing sports TV landscape. And as we do have a sports television professional with us, it would behoove us to get Joshua's expertise on that. And we'll do it next. It's Bishop and Friends on the Fan.
We know everything about you. We know you love the Buckeyes. We know you love the Jackets. We know you're wearing a red shirt. I just freaked the hell out of someone. The Fan. T-Bone and Tyvis wake you up every weekday morning from 6 to 9, and I think I can sum up the show in 3 words. Football, food, and fun. Ain't that right, T-Bone?
And I get more volume per suck.
And there's only one thing that makes Tyvis happier than a free hair transplant.
All it took was legalizing the money you had to give to the players. And we are watching the demise of the SEC.
T-Bone and Tyvis, weekday morning starting at 6. And tell your smart speaker to play 97.1 The Fan.
Common Man here for GoGermain.com. Are you in the market for a pre-owned vehicle? Yes? Stop what you're doing and check out GoGermain.com. They're having their biggest pre-owned sale of the year. Every single vehicle is on sale and comes with a 72-hour exchange policy plus a 3-month warranty. No one's going to sell you a car for less. They have over 4,600 cars to choose from with over 1,500 under $30K. So go for the biggest selection. Go for the lowest price. GoGermain.com. Tell them Common Man sent you.
Iconic summer moments deserve an iconic drink. Reach for Mountain Dew, an American original. From its beginnings in the foothills of Tennessee to your biggest summer yet. The refreshing citrus kick of Mountain Dew is the perfect companion to your American summer adventures. Enjoy the refreshing citrus kick of Mountain Dew. Tasting great since 48. Look for Mountain Dew in stores near you at mountaindew.com. That's mountaindew.com.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place, here with a happy customer.
Wilson's trying very hard.
Thanks, Mom. I mean, Margaret.
Wilson, is this your mom?
Yes.
Mom.
Wilson, your mom should like your windows.
Oh, I wouldn't know. We actually have Pella windows.
Mom!
They've really lowered our energy bills.
I'm going to go wait in the car.
Get the windows that homeowners rated the leading window brand in Columbus at PellaColumbus.com.
This summer, there are 250 reasons to join T-Mobile.
Girls trip? Booked. And switching to T-Mobile helped make it happen.
With Experience Beyond, switch and get $100 back. Plus, $650 in value in built-in plan benefits. That's $750 in your first year, guaranteed.
And honestly, that $100 back, I'm putting it towards the zip line.
Now that's how you do summer.
Exactly. Best switch I ever made.
This is just one reason to join T-Mobile this summer. There are 250 reasons. Find yours.
Savings based on the value of benefits included with Experience Beyond, like entertainment and 1 year of AAA Classic and Dash Pass on Us. Benefits may require activation. See plan for details. Get $100 via virtual prepaid MasterCard with eligible port and no cash access and expires in 6 months. Issued by Sunrise Banks and a member FDIC. Allow 8 weeks.
This is Lieutenant Governor Jim Tressel. If you're driving and take a quick glance at your phone, more can happen than you might think. Because taking your eyes off the road for even just a moment is like driving the entire length of a football field blind. Don't let those few seconds distract you from what's right in front of you. Phones down, eyes up, Ohio.
Getting a speeding ticket can ruin your day. But what about that cyclist or the pedestrian crossing the street? If you hit them while speeding, you'll do more than just ruin their days. That's why tickets are more than just a fine. They're a second chance. A reminder of what's on the line when you're behind the wheel. You won't get a do-over every time. So take this as your sign to follow the speed limit every drive. Speeding slows you down. Paid for by NHTSA.
Retirement from football hits everyone differently. For DeVere Posey and Dane Sanzenbacher, it means sitting around watching sports clips on the internet and arguing about them. Search for Didn't Catch That on YouTube and subscribe. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Good deal of sunshine continues for the rest of the day. Comfortable out there with low humidity. Highs reach the upper 70s. Some passing high clouds develop tonight. Another coolish night with lows in the upper 50s. For your Friday, partly sunny, just a touch warmer, but still not bad. Lower 80s for your Friday. For the Fan, I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Justin Gertz.
Miss a little, miss a lot. Catch Bishop and Friends wherever you get your podcasts. It's free.
Sponsored by Atlas Butler Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
The Fan. The best hair on the air. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Yes, you are. No Paul Feinbaum this week. He's at SEC Media Days down in Destin, or Tampa. I guess I got so used to saying where they did the SEC Media Days. Tampa doesn't feel like it's in the SEC footprint. It is in Florida.
Yes.
So there's that. I think there was talk that they were going to move it to Nashville. Like, these cities are probably bidding on them, I think, at this point.
I would assume.
Big Ten Media Days next week in Chicago. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for that. So Big Ten Media Days sponsored by Discover. You had SEC Media Days sponsored by Regions. Again, find the money where you can. Ryan Day going with Julian Sain, Jeremiah Smith, and Jalen McClain. 2 festivities in Chicago. So we'll have plenty of coverage of that next week. We're also going to start off Monday with SMU as our 20 Most Interesting Programs series continues. We're going to take a break from the ACC. We'll do in Louisville today. We'll have Michigan State tomorrow on the program. And then, because Bo's coming back Monday, we couldn't really do his beloved ponies without him being here.
That's fair.
What we can do is continue with the mailbag, and this comes to us from Bob. The title is Changing Sports TV Landscape. Concerning the recent layoffs at ESPN, where do you think the near future of sports TV news is going? He says, I was a Sports Center junkie in the 90s. Mike and Mike was my morning viewing as I prepared for my workday, as recently as 2 years ago when I was a dedicated listener of Dan Patrick. I've traded all of that for your morning show. Expensive personalities seem more like an endangered species now. Sports broadcasting is an ever-increasing expense, even as a large swath of folk have decided where their precious dollar goes. The national talking heads narrative going the way of rotary phones.
So I've got a lot of thoughts on the changing landscape. From the personality standpoint, what we've seen at ESPN, I mentioned this yesterday, is a shift from having a bunch of people who do some things there to having Stephen A. Smith, who has his own show and he does some of the NBA broadcasts and all that different kind of stuff. You have Pat McAfee, who is literally everywhere. and they're paying those guys a bunch of money. And the Schefters of the world are getting paid a ton. They're paying Shams for what he's doing, Kirk Herbstreit, right? So you have a lot of really highly paid talent over there. And then you've got your Sports Center, more of kind of like the news people and not the opinion people. And they make good money, but like that middle tier of people, they have been the ones that are squeezed out, where it's like, you know, you might make a couple million a year, but you're not Stephen A to us. They're out the door. So that's part of it. The idea of sports news, because that was a term that was used in there. We have to look at media and news media in particular very differently than we did before. And I would go even to the CNNs, MSNBC, Fox News of the world. They are producing opinion-based content for most of what they put on air. Sports Center certainly is a news program, but they also bring in the opinion people to talk about some of the news that's going on. Everything you watch in the morning after that Sports Center goes off up until basically Sports Center comes on again, that's all opinion stuff. And it's happening everywhere that's supposed to, quote unquote, do news. And my thoughts on that is you can clip the opinions, you can put them on social media, and you can use the impressions there as a way to bolster what you call your viewership. That's where the landscape has gone. It's basically, can we create a moment that we can blast out to a bunch of people and they interact with it in other places that aren't their living room?
So good what you said there, JP, because the high expensive paid guy isn't going away. They're just putting more on their plate. Mm-hmm. Schefter's everywhere. McAfee's everywhere. Stephen A's everywhere. So the high paid guy is actually getting more prominent and bigger, and it's squeezing out the people that may not have, you know, that personality. Or David Lloyd, who has hosted Sports Center for 27 years, is out
and by
the door
27,
now.
They're making a lot of money.
Yeah, so why pay him when we can have this person just out of college come in and do this? I would almost argue that sports news is dead in its sports opinion. If you want sports news, you can go find it on your different platforms. And your people that you like that are getting squeezed out, you can go find them on their own platforms now. I didn't always love what Cam Newton said, but I saw he just had an article and said, talking about the ESPN and his tenure, like, the only way you can survive stuff like this is to have your own platform.
Right.
Because then nobody can take it away from you. Nobody can fire you from it. But it is very interesting. Like, it's not necessarily sports news anymore. It's more sports opinion, because that gets people fired up and riled up, and those clips get, you know, they get shown over and over and over and get millions of views, and that's how people make money.
So in terms of the own platform thing, I think it's really important to recognize there are a lot of creators in different spaces, and Substack, and people who write for local publications and folks on YouTube who probably have the information you're looking for if you're looking for news. I would say if you're somebody who is interested in news, find your beat reporters, find your local TV news people. Yeah. Find those kinds of folks, because if you're looking nationally, you're going to find a whole bunch of talking heads that are just giving their opinion on everything.
I think to the discussion around McAfee and Stephen A., and McAfee's kind of like the inverse of what Cam Newton, Ryan Clark, because he did his own thing. Then ESPN bought the rights to it, and McAfee's everywhere. So say what you want about if you like Pat McAfee stuff, if you don't, if you like Stephen A. Smith stuff, if you don't, they're on 7 days a week.
Right.
And during the football season, you can't turn on an ESPN anything and not see him. Even WWE, who they signed an agreement with, Pat is a character on that programming.
Right. So I think the Pat McAfee experience has flipped the way that you have to look at media talent. So with Stephen A., for example, he came up the traditional route. He was a writer for newspapers, and then they're like, this guy is a great opinionist, so we're going to bring him on to TV programs, and he blew up that way. Yeah. Pat McAfee was an independent guy whose star blew up, and ESPN, to your point, they pay him $60 million a year, reportedly now, to be able to put a show on air. They don't even own the show. But they have basically told us that they're not in the business of creating stars anymore. Like, ESPN was a place where people used to go and they would make stars. And now they're just like, some of the guys who have been in the business for a while, it's a different thing. But for newer talent, It's like we're going to find people who already have a platform, following on social media, who we already know can do the job. We're not going to create the star. We're just going to boost it.
If you are looking for work, the Miami Heat are reportedly hiring a director of YouTube strategy. Now, that's up on LinkedIn as of this morning. It's still up on the website. And I wonder if, maybe there was a dismissal of their old director of YouTube strategy, because I don't know if you saw this, but earlier in the week, the Heat posted a link to a scheduled live stream on YouTube titled LeBron James Introductory Press Conference. The date was scheduled for July 27th, so that'd be this coming Monday. Heat said that was a mistake, but the screenshots live in infamy.
Sure.
And you had Miami Heat off-season things, and then this scheduled LeBron James introductory press conference. So Shams Charania said on Tuesday that the social media department was preparing for the possibility of James's signing and mistakenly posted the link to the team's YouTube page. A day later, they're looking for a new director of YouTube strategy.
So this isn't an uncommon thing for...
No, we do it in radio.
Yeah. People have stories ready, right? Like writers, when news breaks, like typically it's not them just finding out and then typing up that whole long story that you read. Like they have that thing ready to go for when the news broke. So the idea that you would prepare the YouTube stream to be able to have it ready to go, that doesn't surprise me. I'm curious about this YouTube strategy job that popped up, though, because was it the idea, and you'd be surprised with companies, large companies that don't understand the digital age, was it the idea that they didn't have a dedicated YouTube person and they just grouped that all into social media? And so they're like, we probably need to hire that guy. Or did they just have somebody who did not know how to do the job right, which a lot of big companies do that too. Right. And they're like, we got to get a new guy in. So I'm curious about that.
I do wonder they had the intern just do all their social media and the intern's overworked, underpaid, and just threw it out there because like, hey, get ready because the Miami Heat, the Cleveland Cavaliers, I believe as of this morning, have the best odds to land LeBron. So whenever that announcement comes, I don't know if the 27th had anything to do with it, but just being a likely if. It's probably on a Monday. He's probably going to gobble up the news cycle. He'll be the guy that everybody talks about on a day where there's not going to be World Cup. There's not going to be other news that people want to look for. There's not going to be much in the way of college football. Like the Big Ten Media Days start next Tuesday. So you put red yarn on a corkboard and you figure, okay, maybe. And then hopefully the Miami Heat were like, yeah, we got to actually pay somebody for this because it's a very, as we've seen, Joshua, and I didn't really notice this until the Fan got involved more and more with YouTube, that it's the social media platform that I use the most.
I think it's the most popular social media platform in the world right now.
I think so.
Yeah.
So, hold on. You guys are telling me that something like a picture of a jersey patch might get released before it's supposed to?
Okay.
Like, that wasn't supposed to...
We don't know. We don't know officially.
Saying stuff like that? Is that happens?
These things tend to happen.
I don't know about that. I don't. You'd have to give me an example of a time that might have happened. But.
It just seems like I don't know, you're supposed to hold this, and somehow it leaks out.
It's very interesting. Yes, it's a very interesting thing you bring up there.
I can't believe things like that would happen.
Oh, what a time! What a time!
We had a report from Sportico earlier this week that says NFL 2025 national revenue tops $14 billion. Teams get $450 million. Surprise, that's more than the $433 million they got in 2024. So fiscal year 2025, $450 million plus doled out to their 32 clubs. The rights fees go up. NFL teams, they get more and more money. But as you saw with the Seattle Seahawks and the $9 billion that team went for, I think the more and more and more means bad news for teams like the Cincinnati Bengals. Joshua and I will discuss that in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends on the Fan.
The sun is out and it's time to cruise into savings. CME Federal Credit Union wants to try to beat your current loan rate by 2% on autos and toys. Plus, enjoy no payments for 60 days. With car rates as low as 4.99% APR and toy rates starting at 6.5% APR, it's the perfect time to save. Apply today at CMEFCU.org. Terms apply. Minimum floor rates 4.99% APR cars, 6.50% APR other vehicles. Federally insured by NCUA.
For over 30 years, Newman Roofing has earned the trust of homeowners by putting customers first and giving back to the communities we serve. From roofing and siding to gutters, every project gets the white glove treatment. Call 614-NEW-ROOF or visit newmanroofing.com.
This is Lieutenant Governor Jim Tressel. If you're driving and take a quick glance at your phone, more can happen than you might think. Because taking your eyes off the road for even just a moment is like driving the entire length of a football field blind. Don't let those few seconds distract you from what's right in front of you. Phones down, eyes up, Ohio.
The Honda Summer Event is on at Lindsay Honda. Get red-hot deals on every new Honda. Save on a new 2026 Honda Civic CVT with 0% for 48 months or 0% for up to 48 months on all new 2026 Honda models, including the 2026 HR-V LX. Get ready for summer adventure in your new Honda. Enjoy the Lindsay Honda difference.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference.
Visit lindsayhonda.com for details.
Join us for Diamond Seller's Wedding Weekend, July 24th and 25th. We guarantee the best price year-round, and Wedding Weekend adds an advantage you won't find anywhere else. Enjoy preferred bridal pricing up to 30% off for 1 weekend only. Visit Diamond Seller, July 24th and 25th.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
After putting up with Dom Tiberi for a decade, the broadcast gods gave Bo these two. This is Bishop and Friends.
So I don't think this surprises anybody that the NFL makes a boatload of money, and that every time the NFL adds a new television partner or adds Netflix or gives games to Netflix, they make more and more money. It's why they want to add more games to the regular season. Like, you're going to go from 17 to 18. It's a matter of when, not if. They want to go to Japan and play a game overseas. I've often maintained that the NFL wants to just create a new day in the calendar. Like, they'll go to Congress and try to petition, add another day after between Sunday and Monday, because they just want to play another game. They want to increase their revenue. And from Sportico, the 32 NFL teams had gross revenue of more than $450 million for the 2025 season. That's up 5% from the 2024 season. And that will continue to go up every single year. And that's why so many billionaires want to get into sports, because the return on the investment's insane. Like this group that just bought the Seattle Seahawks for $9 billion. And that was up $3 billion from the $6 billion that the Commanders sold for.
Insane.
Think of 10 years from now, that $9 billion, what that's going to be valued at. But
Insane.
I think it means bad news for ownership groups like the McCaskies and the Chicago Bears, like the Brown family and the Cincinnati Bengals, of teams whose owners make the money from just that team and they aren't liquid, like the guy that can just cut a $3 billion check to buy the Seahawks.
I think that's one of the things in my mind that holds back so many teams from hitting their potential is the liquidity of the ownership group. And I'm almost at the point, and I know there are informal requirements for people who are looking to buy teams. So if you don't already own one, that if a majority of your net worth, for example, is tied up in real estate, it's not highly liquid, they won't let you buy. But I think that there should be a review every so often of the liquidity of current owners. And if you can't meet a certain threshold, like, you're going to have to sell a portion or all of your team so you can have some cash to be able to do things. You talk about the Bears, and I was in Chicago for 3 years, and, a lot of conversation about the McCaskey family and, what they were going to do as that family started to change and, portions of that family unfortunately passed away. It's like, do they end up selling because the estate tax from passing the team down was almost too much for them to handle? Like, they had to get rid of a portion of that in order to be able to pay taxes. Like, that to me is an insane spot for owners to be in. So there's this idea, of course, like, all these people are billionaires and they're very wealthy people, but not all these billionaires are created the same, where some of them, and you mentioned the Seattle Seahawks, like, I think that there are going to be some tech billionaires who are like, you know what, I've got a whole bunch of shares in X, Y, and Z. I can sell those in a heartbeat, and then let me get into the sports business. And some more of the old school, we build it through real estate, we build it through owning this and owning that you can't just flip right away. I don't think those are the people that are built to own a sports franchise anymore.
It's a weird thing to think about, but I do wonder if you create the barrier for team or for owners. I think about the Chiefs with the Hunt family and the stadium that they just released the renderings for. Cincinnati's never going to be able to do that.
Your favorite stadium?
It looks cookie cutter, and I overreacted probably to it, where I thought, like, that's boring. But
it is boring.
It's supposed to be sterile. It's a sterile environment. This is why I always would rather do everything in a college football atmosphere.
Sure.
I even think the college football playoff, stop doing it at NFL stadiums.
It's a crime.
Crown your national champion at the Rose Bowl.
It's a crime.
Do it January 1st at the Rose Bowl. You don't have to call it the Rose Bowl. You can do it at the LA Coliseum.
Agree.
They won't, because the money. I get it. The sterile environments. I even forgot what I was about to say because you threw me in that tangent again. You know how to push my buttons, Joshua, which is good. I just think that when the Cincinnati Bengals, when it comes time, because they had to take the name off the stadium, he took his dad's name off the stadium because they needed money.
Yes.
You can't just keep patching together their stadium.
Well, no,
that's why the Bears are going to Indiana.
You're at a certain point, like some of these owners, in order to keep up with the people who do have easily spendable money, like they're going to have to sell their teams for parts or portions of the organization and things that they own within the organization for parts. And I don't think that's a great way to have to operate.
And I think, well, then you're selling your team, right? Because it's going to get it to a point where you're not the majority owner anymore. Somebody else is. I think it sucks in a way. And I'm not, look, these NFL owners, they have a ton of money, all of them. Like, I don't feel bad for them. But this is, unfortunately, the way the world is going in a lot of aspects. It's happening to a lot of people where they can't afford to own homes anymore because just the way the system has gotten. And it's gotten that way out of greed, and sometimes it's gotten that way out of people trying to manipulate the system in a bad way. But it just sucks that some of these families who have owned these teams for so long are going to get driven out of doing that because they don't have the money to build Jerry World, which once Jerry World builds Jerry World, everybody has to keep up with that because it's boring. If you just go sit in a seat and have nothing to do or a giant scoreboard to look at, it sucks that it's that way now.
So I feel bad for the senior citizen in society who worked their whole life to own a home, and property taxes have gone up so much because home prices have appreciated and they feel forced out of their neighborhood, right? Like, I feel bad for that person. I am going to refuse to feel bad for somebody who is voluntarily participating in owning an NFL franchise that is worth billions of dollars, and they don't have anything else going business-wise to be liquid, and they have to sell it, and then they walk away with a multi-billion-dollar check one day. You know, like, I think everything has a life cycle in that sense in terms of business, which is what these people are in. They're in business. Changing directions a little bit on this exact topic, the NFL, I don't know how recent it was, they started allowing private equity to be able to purchase a stake for this exact reason. Like, I think that they're starting to recognize that some of the ownership groups would run into this exact issue regarding liquidity. Yeah. And so they're like, you can bring in private equity for a stake in your organization and you can get your cash infusion. That to me is I think it solves a problem in the short term. I don't know if private equity has ever done well for anything, and it scares me.
I was just about to ask the question, what's one thing where PEs come in and something's gotten better?
Yeah.
Where it's been improved upon. But that's not the goal. The goal is to make more money.
Yep.
So however that has to go, or however you have to do it, it's not as important to make the product better, to improve the experience of the people, especially with a thing like the NFL. And it's why I got so mad about the college football and what the Big Ten trying to get private equity, thinking that they could put a price on the experience of being on Lane Avenue for college football football Saturdays. Thinking that they could establish a price on how we all feel, how we romanticize in our formative years, you in your playing years, for the college football experience. I was like, that's odd. It's pretty audacious.
Yeah. I mean, and to that point, too, like, the NFL has done better than anybody in the world at figuring out different ways to open up revenue channels, right? But, like, instead of just going straight to private equity, why don't you just tell some of your members to get a little bit more creative? You know, and I know it's a little bit easier said than done when I'm like, oh, be creative, go find the money. But, like, I don't know, there are a lot of smart people working at these institutions. Otherwise, they wouldn't be working there. Like, somebody can figure out a way to get a little bit creative and figure out how to open up more money without selling a portion of a university to private equity. That, to me, like that sentence right there sounds crazy, period.
It's an ambitious, I think Utah's doing it. I think Kentucky's doing it.
More power to them, man.
You're beholden then to them. You're not beholden anymore to your fans. You're not beholden to your boosters. You're not beholden to your students.
And we've lost the plot at that point. Because the part of the enterprise of collegiate athletics was that it was always something different than professional sports. There was always a little bit of a different mission.
Are Utah and Kentucky they're state universities, right?
So I think
how does that all work?
They've spun off their athletic departments into a business entity that could then be invested into.
Seems awful shady.
It feels like a crazy thing to do. I agree with you.
It goes to the conversation that we will probably keep having until we are in the dirt. The money keeps going up and the price of admission keeps rising. And
what's the tipping point though? Like there's got to be a bubble in this thing, right? Like
I thought we had crossed the Rubicon.
There's no way there's not a bubble.
I think the tipping point is when people quit watching, but as we've seen, that's not going to happen anytime soon.
It's a shame.
Yeah.
It's a shame we're getting into that. It's going to be a shame. And I don't know about for the NFL, where it's because it's just such a grow business. Would it be the worst thing in the world if the Browns had to bring in capital to infuse into the organization? Because while I don't think Paycor is a dump by any stretch of the imagination, in 5 years, it's going to pale in comparison to some of the pale in comparison to the Brook Park Dome.
Right.
Because I know Bengals fans are going to be screaming, rightfully so, at the state. They gave Jimmy Haslam money. We chop liver here. Absolutely.
Now I don't want to bring up anything that might ruffle feathers here, but that is ripe for you did it for them. You might not be playing ball the same way with us. Kentucky's right here, and they'll play ball. Because that's what Chicago Bears have done.
The Gary Bears.
Where Indiana was like, we'll play ball. And Illinois was like, I'm not sure about this. Like, Kentucky's sitting right there. Don't want to speak out of turn, but you never know.
Lane Kiffin, you lying. That's next. Bishop and Friends on The Fan.
If you consider yourself a Buckeye fan, you've come to the right place. This is your heritage sports talker and home of Ohio State athletics. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Tired of snoring? Sleep Better Columbus can help with a custom mouthpiece that opens your airway and stops the snoring. No mask, no noise. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com today. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
How many of you have had your garage floor done? I'll wait for the answer. Yeah, that's enough. How many of you think it looks like crap? That's because it is crap. One quick call to Comer & Cross Concrete Floor Coatings at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, and they can install a gleaming new Comer & Cross garage floor in one day. A Comer & Cross garage floor is the gold standard. It's like pulling into a new car showroom every night. And here's the best part. It is guaranteed your garage floor will never chip, crack, or show tire lift like epoxy or paint ever. And listen, you lazy bum, they'll even take the stuff out of the garage for you. They're all certified uniform pros. No subcontractors at Comer & Cross. This is a premier product with premier results, and they hired a premier endorser to tell you about it. For your quick and easy Comer & Cross garage floor quote, call 1-800-NEW-FLOOR now. That's 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, or go to comercross.com, C-O-M-E-R cross.com.
Scotty Vegas here, and my new Bronco from Krieger Ford might go down as one of my best purchases of all time. I love it. The family loves it. I decided to get my wife's car some much-needed service. Krieger Ford conveniently picked up her car. I was prepared to spend a ton on repairs. Nope. They walked me through the problems, and it was fixed and brought back to our driveway in a day. Plus, saved me some money for some summertime parlays. The Krieger Ford experience is awesome. See for yourself at KriegerFord.com.
When you first saw her, she was out walking her dog. You didn't notice her at first. But when you finally did, it was too late. Because at that moment, you were speeding. She was out walking her dog and only had a second to let go of the leash. Your foot was on the gas, and her life was on the line. Speeding catches up with you. Paid for by NHTSA.
One bite in, you'll be saying, "That's hot as fire." Speedway's new Hot as Fire chicken sandwich turns up the temp with spicy breaded chicken on a brioche bun. Top it your way with pickles, a little hot sauce mayo combo, and more. It's a hot sandwich kind of summer. Don't just beat the heat, eat the heat. The new Hot as Fire chicken sandwich. $4.99, only at Speedway. Valid through 8/25/26. Participating stores. Exclude Speedy Cafe. Toppings and sauces sold separately. See app for full terms.
Hey, it's T-Bone again. Sleep apnea doesn't have to rule your nights. Sleep Better Columbus has been treating snoring and sleep apnea for over 15 years with proven results and now has an office open in Marysville. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or go to sleepbettercolumbus.com. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. I am quite aware of the dangers being on the road. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. These families' lives will be changed in an instant. We fight for these families as if they were our own. We've become America's largest injury law firm by winning cases just like these. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Injured? Dial pound law.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Our double hung is as good as it gets. There's something really simple. It's called an interlock. We interlock our windows. The interlock is the absolute best way to alleviate air infiltration. With the interlock, it's harder to break into. When you interlock the sashes, it makes a better window. It's just a darn good window, and we're very proud of it.
Visit Rosati Windows and get 35% off all windows and doors by July 31st.
Common Man and Timmy are putting together a hangout at the radio station for a small amount of listeners. Pizza will be involved. Ping pong, too. Lots of inappropriate conversation. And don't forget, pin the tail on Teddy. Tell Man and Timmy why you're the perfect guest by emailing goodcleanboy@gmail.com.
Presented by Billiards Plus and sponsored by Paisano Peppers.
The event takes place Thursday, July 30th, and all email submissions must be in by July 27th. Enter today.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Federal Elite Heating and Cooling and Bryant. Doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
If you love a good pie analogy,
think of the cap as a pie. And once you take out one piece, there's less left for the next guy.
then this is the radio show for you. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
That's a fitting rejoin. Old Mike Brown audio about the pie. And when you give large slices to people, there becomes less and less of said pie.
Sure.
It's my favorite sporting analogy. I don't know where any of you stand on it, but I love hearing Mike Brown talk to me about prices and using stuff because, again, I'm not the smartest, I'm not the brightest bulb in the box, sharpest tool in the shed, as they say. We have a winner for the Bishop and Friends t-shirt at Pirate Octopus on Twitter. I've reached out to you. I'd like you to respond. At 9:53, we had 5 responses at 971-BFS. So I tried to find who got in the earliest, and Twitter gave it to me chronologically. And loyal listener Phil was just seconds short. But you threw a hand at a high school quarterback, or at a rival quarterback in high school, and that's what somebody recognized you for earlier this week.
Unfortunately so.
So you will get Bo's shirt. You just got to get the information. So congratulations, Pirate Octopus. Apologies, Phil, and everybody else. Tried to do it as fair as humanly possible. But BreakingT.com if you want your Bishop and Friends shirt again. Type in Breaking T, then search Bishop and Friends.
The chat. Phil's in here saying voter fraud. Stop the count.
You will accept the results.
Stop the count.
Thing or not a thing.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the master griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
You just got to get me 1,000 Twitter responses. Just 11,000 Twitter responses. Just find them.
Just find them.
Paul Feinbaum, we did not connect with this week. He's down in Tampa for SEC Media Days. It was LSU's day with Lane Kiffin, who says he's removed all of the social media apps from his phone. Kiffin says it started as a challenge from his son, but adds he's come to enjoy disconnecting. Thing or not a thing?
Whatever, dude. Like, I listen, delete your... I had teammates that would do this. They would go on a social media cleanse before the season started. Some of them were still ass when the season started, right? So, like, I don't care about anything you do up until the point where foot meets leather, and then we'll get back to it. But Lane is a different bird. He's going to do what he does. I do not care.
What I want to know is, did Lane go on all of these said social media platforms and let everyone know he was taking a break? Like, hey, guys, just want to let you know I'm going away for a while.
That's what they'd love to do.
Because that would have been fantastic. So it was his son, Knox, that supposedly asked him to stay off of social media. And I think the thing here, a funny thing from Greg Sankey, he's like, where's Knox? Somebody give him a hug for me. This doesn't matter at all, and who cares if it's real or not or whatever. And I'm pretty sure the LSU fans don't care either. Just go win them ball games, Lane. That's all they want. But he sure seems like a spectacle. They have, 30 minutes with each coach? Somebody said they were 20 minutes in and not one question had been asked yet because he was just rambling on about everything.
So we have at Big Ten Media Days, some of the coaches do a long filibuster.
That's the word for it.
They will talk and talk and talk and talk to avoid having to answer the questions on the big stage at the podium. There are others who will do a quick introduction. Glad to be here. Thanks, Petiti. These are the players that we brought. Looking forward to the season. Open it up for questions. I think Brett Bielema might even be a guy at times where he's like, straight to questions. I love it.
I appreciate that. So it'll be the case. It's been the case for the last couple of weeks at Media Days. It'll be the case next week as the Big Ten goes in Chicago, where you get some of them do a long filibuster. Like, I think Greg Sankey might have gone half an hour. He had 46 minutes, half an hour before he even took a question. It's like, nobody's here to hear from you, dude. We just have questions that we would like to get to you for. But Lane Kiffin's also lying. Like, you're on social media, dude. I think he's got burner accounts.
Yeah, 100%.
But you, to Baker's point, like, you don't leave social media unless you tell everybody you've left social media. You truly haven't done it.
It'd be sweet if Kiffin, walked towards the guy and said, stand up and ask that question again. Poor little Brett Yormark.
On Wednesday evening, the Ohio Department of Transportation said both the east and westbound lanes of State Route 316 in Pickaway County were closed because a truck carrying pickles crashed, spilling the kosher cargo all over the roadway. ODOT shared video of the accident scene with this caption: "There was quite a pickle on this. There was quite a pickle today on State Route 316 in Pickaway County. The roadway is currently closed due to a crash involving a truck hauling pickles. Thankfully, the driver wasn't injured. The pickles, however, are speared." Video shared by the agency shows the heavy damaged trailer and hundreds of containers of pickles spread across the median and the roadway. They look to be the Vlasic branded pickles, too. Thing or not a thing?
This is a thing because ODOT was hilarious for that tweet. The pickles are speared. I love that. It is a thing because this feels like something that only happens in a cartoon, which is hilarious to me. And it's also a thing because I'm hoping this does not hurt the pickle supply chain because I am a pickle consumer.
This is a thing because obviously ODOT has somebody's dad running their Twitter account with all these dad jokes going on. Good job out of ODOT leaning into this. Thankfully, nobody was harmed except for maybe a few pickles. I wonder how that cleanup goes, like what they have to do with all of that. Does it all just get destroyed? Do they just send the rest to, some kind of food bank or shelter that's unopened in the glass? I'd love to know where the pickles went.
I mean, if the glass jar hasn't been damaged in any way, if you can't pop the bubble at the top, I'll take them.
Yeah, send them to me.
Yeah, in a heartbeat. Like, it's just pickles. But, that's not as nearly as far as produce goes. Like, I'm not worried about that giving me explosive diarrhea.
Well, you never know.
If the bubble hasn't been popped. I know where you guys are going to answer on this, the two of you, Baker and Joshua Perry, but I wanted to read this anyway. As Fox announced Tuesday, the Spain-Argentina World Cup final drew 38.9 million viewers this past Sunday. It includes a peak of 51.6. It's easily the most watched English-language soccer telecast in U.S. history, according to Nielsen. Fox has their top 15 local markets for the World Cup. And because of you two, Columbus is not on that list. Kansas City, the highest watched market for the World Cup, followed by Boston, Austin, San Francisco, and Dallas, rounding out the top 5. Thing or not a thing?
The reason this is a thing is because I think it points to a couple of actions happening right now in society. Number one, people love a good thing to bandwagon on, right? And so they're like, oh, I'm going to be cool. I'm going to watch soccer. I'm going to be a part of the in crowd. And so I think that's a part of why so many people want to watch. Secondly, this is something you can do with community. And I think that people are craving communal places to gather and to experience things and to enjoy things with friends, new and old. And so I'm here for that.
And I'm also happy for that, JP. It wasn't for me, and it wasn't for you. But I'm happy that people are doing that because we live in a world where people are stuck in their phones and what to watch and everything. And it seems like people don't know how to interact with each other unless there is sport. So I'm happy for that. I think I mentioned when I was in the Orlando airport last Saturday, the third place game was going on in the little establishment at the airport that we were sitting in. It seemed like everybody, for the most part, had their eyes glued to those TVs and were all about what was going on in that third place game. The game we're talking about, obviously, was the championship. I don't begrudge anyone of it. I'm happy that everybody enjoyed this. I know Kansas City was really big into it because they were hosting games. And my buddy who lives out there was saying it was crazy how everybody was into it, going places to watch it because it was there. And the soccer fans around the world that came to the United States to view their teams, that is a lot like a college football Saturday. So I understand how people got into it, especially if it was in your town.
Can the CARDS win the ACC? We'll discuss next. It's Bishop and Friends on The Fan.
Tweet from a listener. Are you carrying the Buckeye game today? Considering we've never not carried one, yes. The answer is yes. The Fan.
Common Man here for GoGermain.com. Are you in the market for a pre-owned vehicle? Yes? Stop what you're doing and check out GoGermain.com. They're having their biggest pre-owned sale of the year. Every single vehicle is on sale and comes with a 72-hour exchange policy plus a 3-month warranty. No one's going to sell you a car for less. They have over 4,600 cars to choose from with over 1,500 under 30K. So go for the biggest selection. Go for the lowest price. GoGermain.com. Tell them Common Man sent you.
Alan Parsons Live Project, celebrating 50 years of the debut album, Tales of Mystery and Imagination. Saturday, July 25th, 8 p.m., Columbus Commons. An unforgettable night with the Alan Parsons Live Project. On sale now at picnicwiththepops.com. The 50th anniversary of Tales of Mystery and Imagination. Live. Presented by Nationwide Picnic with the Pops.
Whoa, what's all this? These screens, the food?
All for the game, bro.
Dude, let us pitch in.
No need. I've got it all covered. With T-Mobile, I'm saving $1,000 bundling my wireless and internet.
No way. Really?
Yep, and the price of my plan won't change for 5 years.
Wow, I'm definitely switching to T-Mobile.
Goal!
Here's to score big with T-Mobile. Families save up to $1,000 a year when they bundle fast, easy to set up, all-in 5G home internet with 4 phone lines on Experience Beyond. And your plan price? Guaranteed for 5 years. Stay connected con tu gente and catch every match with T-Mobile. Join now at T-Mobile.com.
Price guarantee on talk, text, and 5G data. Exclusions like taxes and fees apply. Savings based on third line free via monthly bill credits. Internet discount with $15 in monthly bill credits and auto-pay discount. Qualifying credit required. Credits may take up to 2 bill cycles and will stop if you cancel any lines or change plans.
Attention, Columbus. There's a new player coming to town. Vermeer Heartland is opening a brand new location August 3rd, bringing the Vermeer equipment you trust closer to home. That means easier access to genuine Vermeer parts, expert service, and a local team ready to help keep your equipment in the game and your projects moving. We're excited to join the Columbus community and look forward to serving you. Get the latest updates and location information at VermeerHL.com. That's VermeerHL.com. Game on!
McDonald's is putting value back on the menu. Whether you're craving a Big Mac, McNuggets, or sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddles, make it a meal and save. Your favorite is now your wallet's favorite, too. Extra value meals are back.
For a limited time, get an $8 Big Mac Extra Value Meal, complete with a medium Coke and medium fries. Promotion pricing may be lower than meal pricing. Price of participation may vary.
CEC Turf and Tractor is growing. We're proud to welcome Green & Sons Equipment's Mount Sterling and Marysville locations. Same hometown service you trust, now with the strength of one of Ohio's largest Kubota dealers. Visit CECTurfandTractor.com today.
Collar Man and Timmy here for our friends at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Hey, Timmy, that new hotel is open, and it's amazing.
It really is. Also, we have red, white, and win drawings on Saturdays in July. You can step into the flying cash machine for a chance to win up to $2,000 in pen cash.
And the best part, all-you-can-eat crab legs are back. Be here on Tuesdays in July and August from 4 to 10 for Canadian snow crab legs with butter, corn on the cob, and Hawaiian rolls.
Yeah, Hawaiian rolls. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
Anytime is a great time to give to the Salvation Army, and now through August 1st, you can donate to a Red Kettle Thursdays through Saturdays at participating Kroger and Walmart stores. Join Atlas Butler, Jets Pizza, and our volunteers to give a little, change a lot. SalvationArmyCentralOhio.org.
And we're live here outside the Perez family home, just waiting for the... And there they go, almost on time this morning. Mom is coming out the front door strong with a double-arm kid carry. Looks like Dad has the bags. Daughter is bringing up the rear. Oh, but the diaper bag wasn't closed. Diapers and toys are everywhere. Ooh, but Mom has just nailed the perfect car seat buckle for the toddler. And now the eldest daughter, who looks to be about 9 or 10, has secured herself in the booster seat. Dad zips the bag closed, and they're off. But looks like Mom doesn't realize her coffee cup is still on the roof of the car. And there it goes. Oh, that's a shame. That mug was a fam favorite.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Just nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Learn more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios, driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good morning, I'm Eric Reeser. The Columbus Blue Jackets and goaltender Jet Greaves have avoided arbitration. Both sides reached an agreement Thursday. 3 years, $15 million for the 25-year-old Greaves, who made 54 starts for the CBJ last season, posting a .908 save percentage. Jackets and forward Cole Sillinger await arbitration this coming Monday in Toronto. Earlier today, the Chicago Blackhawks signed Patrick Kane to a 2-year deal worth $8 million. We've got day baseball in Cleveland. Game 2 in the return of Jose Ramirez, who missed the last 5 weeks with a broken left hand. J-Ran drove in a pair of runs last night, but the Guardians fell to the Twins 10-6 in Cleveland. Both teams are back at Progressive at 1:40 today. As for the Reds, Cincinnati won their second straight with 5-3 over the Mariners last night in Seattle. Reds are off Thursday, but Cincinnati's in St. Louis for a weekend series Friday. This update is sponsored by BMI Federal Credit Union. Take a vacation from high interest rates with special rates on balance transfers at BMI Federal Credit Union, bmifcu.org/consolidate.
Bo could quit today and become the school drop-off line coordinator. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Yes, you are. Eric Reeser, Joshua Perry, Ryan Baker with you until noon today. Before we get to our 20 most interesting programs, Thursdays, the Louisville Cardinals will have Dalton Pence from Locked On Louisville at 11:30. Want to shout out the real MVP of today's program, Mills, the YouTube chat. She says she just bought a T-shirt.
Love that.
A Bishop and Friends shirt, which you can get right now at breakingt.com. Just type in Bishop and Friends when you hit the website. Don't type in Morning Juice or T-Bone and Tyvis. Are you okay there?
I'm dropping stuff right now.
Are you dropping what you're doing to go on Breaking T and buy a Bishop and Friends shirt?
That's exactly what I'm doing.
The best facial hair on the air
Beautiful.
can be yours too. Just be like Mills and give us your money. Or someone gets it. We don't, but we'd love to have your support by having our faces on your body.
I mean, the station gets it, right? Some way. So
Scotty probably gets it.
Back to us a
Here's
little
the
bit.
thing I think we should do is all the proceeds from the T-shirts go to Scotty Vegas, who goes to his alley bookie, and then he invests them for us. And then at the end of the year, we can do a pizza party or something.
A pizza party?
I don't know.
That's what Scotty does at Christmas. He gets bets for people, and
Josh,
hopefully
I
they
didn't know
hit.
what else to go there.
You remember the pizza parties in school?
I sure do.
You talked about wheeling in the TV. They'd wheel that bad boy in, they'd get the little pizza, right? And they were teachers out of the kindness of their own heart. hosting a pizza party. They'll cut that thing in about 29 slices. They'll pop 2 bags of popcorn, put a little bit on a tissue for you, and give you a little Dixie cup full of 7-Up. Those were the days, people.
We were talking about filibustering and the job that coaches do when they talk at media days. Like PJ Fleck will get up there with his tight shirt and he'll go for an hour if they'd let him. Like at some of these, maybe they have an orchestra to play off or the Dave Chappelle Wrap It Up box. At media days in the SEC, they're doing that right now in Tampa. Brett McMurphy, everyone's favorite college football reporter, has clocked the fewest and the most number of words in a coach's opening statement. Now, he goes back to 2022 and says Mike Leach had 5 words at the SEC media days there when he was still coaching at Mississippi State. 5 words by Mike Leach in 2022. In 2026 for Lane Kiffin, the new head coach at LSU, he's clocked him at 2,807 words. It's a bit of a difference. But yeah, Mike Leach was, I thought, always the best with the media.
What did Lane say?
He said he didn't get on social media because his kid challenged him.
How many words do you need?
Apparently 2,800 for Lane to talk about LSU. And it, what we were discussing with Jake Diebler yesterday, right? Like, the talk's nice, the availability's nice, the being out there is great for all of these coaches. But Paul Feinbaum, who we didn't have on today, but we'll get him on next week, said for Lane, the college football playoff's the bare minimum for this season. That's what you got to do. Like, all of this can be cute, but you cannot miss out on the playoff in year one.
Who said on the SEC studio show that it was that they had to make the national title? Oof. I think that's what one of the SEC network analysts said. And a different analyst agreed on that panel. And I think it's a unique perspective for some of them because of all of the fallout from the way that things ended at Ole Miss. And it's like you were in the playoff, and Ole Miss ended up being literally like a couple plays away from competing in a title game, and you left to go to LSU. I think there are some people who are convinced that if that's what you walked away from, which, by the way, I don't think that's something that they could replicate every year in Ole Miss, you better find it real quick there in Baton Rouge.
I saw that Lane today threw his hat in the whining about the 9 conference games, saying that they don't have it fixed the way we pick the college football playoff teams. So if they can't get that fixed, all we're going to be doing is beating each other up. Well, not if you win. If you win, you don't have to worry about it. If you don't lose to Florida, who was 4-8 last year, if you don't lose to Mississippi State, I'm just throwing not all the SEC teams are great. We talked about Tennessee. They were just 8-5. That's just a middle-of-the-road team.
Don't lose to Arkansas.
Don't even play. Tennessee doesn't even play LSU every year, as we found out this week. So what do we do?
And enough of those losers in the Southeastern Conference. Let's go to the Atlantic Coast Conference, where our 20 most interesting program has us heading down to Louisville.
We'll expand conferences, we'll expand the playoffs, but we'll never, ever expand our interests. Bishop and Friends present the 20 most interesting programs.
Year 4 for Jeff Brom as head coach. I think this would be year 9 for Jeff Brom at Louisville. He was a quarterback there. That's where he had his playing career. The Cardinals 9-4 overall last season, 4-4 in ACC play. That's good for 7th in the league. They won the Boca Raton Bowl. In 3 seasons with the Cardinals, Brom is 28-12 overall, 16-8 in ACC play. And the one thing I think about with Brom and a lot of these ACC schools is because Duke won it last year, didn't make the college football playoff. Miami was probably the best team.
Yes.
Anything can happen nowadays. So why not for Louisville, who I think has done a good job of procuring players out of the portal? Only 3 returning starters on offense. They bring in a quarterback we know very well in Lincoln Kienholz. If he can be the catalyst for them to a 10, 11-win season, why not Louisville in the playoff, right?
It's a unique dark horse because I tend to agree the way that the ACC is set up. Somebody who we don't anticipate winning it or being competitive might end up being the team down there. But for Jeff Brom, I do think he understands that place, obviously, with his background as a player there. but where they fit into the overall landscape of the sport, we talked about it at the top of the show. I don't think they ever see themselves as one of those teams that's just going to go out there year after year and get, great talent right out of high school. They probably got to do a little bit extra work in the portal, but they can pitch a place where people will still see you, a place where they do value the football, a place that has produced great players in the past, and a place where the coach is going to invest in their ability to continue to develop as they're on their college path.
Yeah, and they're a team with Jeff Brom at the helm that's gone 11-4, 9-4, 9-4. So they're not super far off, especially in that conference. And Reese, you mentioned what they've done in the transfer portal this year. They were 13th, I believe, in transfer portal rankings. They brought in a lot of guys. This offense, if they brought in the right guys at the offensive line position, and Lincoln Keenholz, and we know Lincoln Keenholz is a talented quarterback. If Lincoln Keenholz can be the guy that some people think he could be, this could be a really dangerous offense because they have 3 running backs that are all really good. I think it's Isaac Brown rushed for almost 900 yards last year. I believe it is Kawan Brown, who is his backup, who rushed for almost 800 yards this year. And then they brought in a good kid out of the transfer portal and Marquise Davis, too. So they've got some running backs there. The receivers they brought in from the transfer portal are pretty good, too. Had good years at Vanderbilt and Florida State. So this LSU offense has some potential if Lincoln Keenholz can be the guy.
Now, week 1, they're thrown into it. You got a September 6th date. That's on a Sunday at 7:30. They're playing Ole Miss in Nashville. So you get the earliest test humanly possible is, I think somebody did like 100 simulations in the new EA Sports College football game, and Ole Miss came out winning a couple national titles in those simulations.
Well, good for them.
So, they're not nothing, and so that's going to be a good test. They've got SMU on the slate. They've got Florida State on the schedule, North Carolina, Pittsburgh later on. They end the season playing at Kentucky. So when I say 10, 11 wins, it's ambitious, this schedule. For a team like Louisville, you can see some spots where they might trip up.
Yeah, you certainly can, but Jeff Brom has been a guy who's pulled off upsets as a head coach. It was one thing that he did at Purdue very well, and he did it last year. Like we were talking about Miami's best team in the ACC a year ago. Well, Louisville beat them last year. So, he has this giant killer thing in him to where maybe in some of those games he can pull off an upset.
Their 2 toughest games, Reese, might be in the first 3 weeks.
Yeah, I think once they clear September.
Ole Miss, Villanova, then SMU. That first week and third week, that might be the 2 toughest games on their schedule. Now, Kentucky's a rivalry game. Georgia Tech, I still think, is a decent football team. Pitt's probably a decent football team, but not world beaters. So if they can get over this hump early, they might be able to cruise a little bit at the end.
We'll have some Cardinal conversation with Dalton Pence, the Locked On Louisville podcast host, will join us at 11:30. But we will do the categories in the Louisville Cardinals coming up next. Bishop and Friends on The Fan.
A lot has changed in 30 years, but we're still that old shoe that feels worn in and well-loved. And, well, we smell a little, but whew, you've accepted that. The Fan.
There's something that has always made small towns and great communities strong. It's not the buildings themselves, but the people and who show up for them. The businesses that don't disappear when the work is done. The ones that sponsor the local festivals, cheer from the sidelines, lend a hand when needed, and take pride in calling this place home. For more than 30 years, that's exactly who Newman Roofing has been. Yes, they install roofs, siding, and gutters, but what homeowners remember is how they're treated. The straight answers, the respect for your home, job sites left cleaner than they found them, and craftsmanship that's built to last. Because when you live where you work, every customer is also a neighbor. That's why Newman Roofing has spent decades investing in this community, earning trust one family at a time. Newman Roofing, treating you like family and our community like home. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof.
How many of you have had your garage floor done? I'll wait for the answer.
that's enough.
How many of you think it looks like crap? That's because it is crap. One quick call to Comer and Cross Concrete Floor Coatings at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, and they can install a gleaming new Comer and Cross garage floor in one day. A Comer and Cross garage floor is the gold standard. It's like pulling into a new car showroom every night. And here's the best part. It is guaranteed your garage floor will never chip, crack, or show tire lift like epoxy or paint ever. And listen, you lazy bum, they'll even take the stuff out of the garage for you. They're all certified uniform pros. No subcontractors at Comer and Cross. This is a premier product with premier results, and they hired a premier endorser to tell you about it. For your quick and easy Comer and Cross garage floor quote, call 1-800-NEW-FLOOR now. That's 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, or go to comercross.com, COMER cross.com.
This is This Date in Reds Baseball with team historian Greg Rhodes.
The team the modern Reds descended from, the Cincinnati Red Stockings, was officially formed on this July 23rd back in 1866. It would be another couple of months before the team played its first game. But on this date, a group of lawyers looking to play some baseball formally organized their club, which was first called the Resolutes. They were an amateur club, and many other amateur teams were forming in the city about the same time. But within 3 years, the Resolutes had become something special. They changed their names to the Red Stockings and became America's first all-professional club. And it started in a law office in downtown Cincinnati this July 23rd, 1866. This date in Resolutes baseball.
This Date in Reds Baseball is brought to you by the Cincinnati Reds Hall of Fame and Museum, presented by Dinsmore. Celebrating greatness, preserving history, providing inspiration.
What defines Ohio? A place that dares to go first and never looks back. There's no slowing us down. In Ohio, we're powering America, discovering breakthroughs, driving the future, propelling tomorrow. At Jobs Ohio, our mission is clear. Strengthen job opportunities and empower Ohio's workforce. Ohio, our time is now. See Ohio's momentum at jobsohio.com/Ohio's time.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is, fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, commercial properties. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
In the old days when people lived to be 40, you only had one option for listening to your favorite show. But now, ooh, baby, radio, podcast, the Fan app, and YouTube, ooh, just to name a few. Live or on demand. You have no excuses. The Fan. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Good deal of sunshine continues for the rest of the day. Comfortable out there with low humidity. Highs reach the upper 70s. Some passing high clouds develop tonight. Another coolish night with lows in the upper 50s. For your Friday, partly sunny, just a touch warmer, but still not bad. Lower 80s for your Friday. For the Fan, I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Justin Gertz.
Miss a little, miss a lot. Catch Bishop and Friends wherever you get your podcasts. It's free.
Sponsored by Atlas Butler Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
The Fan. They'll offer betting advice, but don't bet on it being good. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Our 20 most interesting program series heads to Louisville for the Louisville Cardinals and the ACC contender. And we'll have Dalton, Pence on Locked On Louisville coming up here in about 12 minutes. But fight, U of L, fight. Is the Cardinals fight song. And I think if you had me listen to this before today, I'd have been like, I don't know who that is. Because I can't tell you a single time playing the EA Sports college football game, I was the Louisville Cardinal.
Well, I think that's kind of fair.
Back when I was playing the game, you know, I was playing in the Big East. Like, I was Pitt. But...
So you could whoop up on Notre Dame?
Well, that was part of the fun, right? But I also, you know, had a guy, Larry Fitzgerald, was fun to play as.
Oh, yeah, he's pretty good.
I just like playing as the obscure, even as, like, the obscure schools that I would play as, Stanford, Pitt. think I did an Oklahoma State a couple times. I never gravitated to Louisville. But that is the topic for today. And the Louisville Cardinals College Football 2026 adaptability grade is, Joshua?
See, I'm curious to see what the answers are as we go around the circle here. I feel like this program is interesting because some of this is a little bit harder to pin down. Feels like a C, right? Like I don't think that they are well constructed in every portion of their program to compete. But I do feel like there are some upsides. As I mentioned, I think they do fine in the portal. Money's probably not the greatest, but I don't think they're the worst in terms of their ability to compete from that standpoint. You like where they're at in terms of their path to the playoff through the ACC, and I think that's always a positive. So I would say somewhere in the middle of the road.
It's funny. I was thinking C as well. They seem to have done a good job this year in the portal, especially of getting guys that have the talent to go to bigger schools, but may not be starters at those schools, like Lincoln Keenholz coming in, Trey Robinson, the receiver from Vanderbilt, the receiver from Florida State as well coming in. So it seems like they're trying to find that maybe untapped potential from the bigger schools, but I'm not sure they have the money to go all in after the big guys because they're putting their money into basketball first. It is a basketball school at Louisville. So I think they're trying, but I think it's just about a C.
So it's actually good that this song, the Fight U of L, is where it is. The first time I was kind of introduced to Louisville was 2007. Obviously, you watched them on TV in the heyday of the Big East. But in their song, they spell cards. They go C-A-R-D-S. And I was at that Lexington Regional that Ohio State beat Xavier in back in 2007. Louisville was there, too. Rick Pitino and Louisville was the next game. I think they played Texas A&M, and it was at Rupp Arena. And Rick Pitino walks into Rupp in a white suit, and it's like Satan walked into church. But the Louisville fans were singing the C-A-R-D-S, and they like spell it with their hands. And so this is C-A. R is how they do that. D and then S. And I always thought that was weird because that doesn't look like an R.
It does.
Kind of.
But it's...
Oh,
we shouldn't try to spell an R with our body.
This is a C for Louisville.
Yeah.
Uniform brand grade for the Cardinals.
Probably somewhere similar. I think their uniforms are fun. They don't make you feel emotion toward the sport, and I think that's a big part of it. So, once again, not awful. I would say somewhere in the middle of the road there. For the brand, once again, like, I don't know, it's kind of cool. It's fine. It's certainly not in the upper echelon. So, I'm probably around a C for all of this as well.
I'm going to go a little higher here. I'm going to go a B-. I think the one thing with the uniform is they've changed it so much over the years, so you don't have that attachment with it. Obviously, the Cardinal is there on the hat, but they've changed it so much. And they do have a brand, I believe. Unfortunately, that brand is just mostly for basketball.
Right.
So I will give them a B- here because, B-.
Historical player you'd pick for this Louisville team?
This was a little bit of a toughie because I think you could have gone in multiple places with some of the roster turnover, like the transfer guys you expect to be able to come in and play. So I went with guys who were tried and true. Elvis Dumerville, Marcus Smith were both guys who were edge rushers that played at Louisville that could get you 15 to 20 sacks in a season. I think you just drop one of those guys in there.
So I love Lincoln Keenholz, but I think it'd be hard every year for Louisville not to want to drop Lamar Jackson in there at quarterback and let him go. And Lamar Jackson, with these running backs, it would almost be impossible to stop the running game, at least, of this Louisville team.
Yeah, Lamar was out of his mind as a quarterback there, so he'd be it for me. Would they get an official visit from Vince Howard?
As a transfer, if he was in the portal.
As a second chance.
So I'm going to go D here for the grade because I don't think they would get that visit.
Not out of high school, no. Coach grade for Jeff Brom.
I'm saying a solid B. I actually think that he's one of the most underrated coaches in college football. He is Kirk Ferentz in a lot of ways from the standpoint of can punch above their weight at times. I think Kirk is more consistent in beating teams they're supposed to beat. But they make do with what they have really well. And they're opposite in the fact that Iowa's always got defense. Jeff Brom's offenses are always going to be able to score points. It's just something that he does really well with. But the idea that he's been able to pull off some monster upsets, and he's done it pretty consistently to me, like, he is a phenomenal ball coach. It's just inconsistent defense at times, and the fact that they will go out and lose a game they should absolutely win.
So I'm going to go B here as well, but for Louisville, this might be an A because he's an alum. He's 28-12 there. We mentioned 11-4, 9-4, 9-4. I don't know if Louisville has that much more to give on a consistent basis, at least. So it's a B overall for Brom, but this might be an A for Louisville.
Did we say Will Stein, Kentucky's head coach, did he play at Louisville as well?
Let me hit a quick Google.
Because that would be that. I mean, that it's just another fascinating wrinkle into what is the final game of the season.
He was a quarterback for Louisville Cardinals.
The Wildcats and the Cardinals when they meet in Lexington. Yeah, it's a B. But you had mentioned something, Joshua, that I think is really, really endearing about a coach is if they are familiar with upsets, if they're familiar with taking down Goliath, then you can kind of show that you can be a little chesty with your guys and not fear when Goliath comes to town or when you go to Goliath.
Yeah.
Like upsets are what we love about college football, I think, more than anything. And that'll take me to the sliding door moment of all time. But Joshua, what's it for you?
So I think it's hard to avoid what Petrino was able to do there.
Yeah.
And then how he left. He basically committed to like a 10-year contract. And 6 months later, he was like, oh, the NFL wants me. So I'm going to do that. But I'm only going to coach 13 games with the Falcons before I'm out of there. There were a lot of years that were down. And I think it was maybe it was John L. Smith and then Petrino who were both like bright spots in that history. And I feel like if they were able to have maybe a better pass off from that era to the next, it would be a little bit more of a solid program.
So it's funny, I was thinking the John L. Smith hiring as well, because John L. Smith into Bobby Petrino and then Steve Cragthorpe wasn't the greatest after Petrino, but they have been pretty much since that hiring a consistent 500 or better football team. So it seemed like John L. Smith kind of got it going. Bobby Petrino took it to another level, maybe a slight dip, but then they got Charlie Strong and they got through some things. So they've been a 500 or better. So I think that John L. Smith hiring has kind of solidified this football program.
So in Petrino's last season in Louisville, he's probably gone after that 06 year, regardless of what happens. But November 9th in Piscataway, New Jersey, the 14th ranked Rutgers Scarlet Knights upset the 3rd ranked Louisville Cardinals 28-25 on primetime television.
They thought they were going to be playing for a national title that year.
Had they run the table, who's to say they might not have? Because Florida also had a loss on their schedule that season. And for Louisville, Rutgers misses the first kick, but Louisville's offsides. And then they drill the other kick, and it's a stadium storming in Piscataway, in the birthplace of college football, one of the biggest upsets of, I think, the 2000s, that decade.
They're firing the cannons in Piscataway.
Incredible sliding door moment there for this team in 2026, the Louisville Cardinal. Win it all, make playoff, too soon, flame out.
I'd say probably it's a too sooner, but they're a dark horse. Like we've discussed it.
Yep.
The schedule sets up for them. They have been able to pull off upsets. Right, like this is a team where if you're looking for one to maybe throw a couple of bucks down on a futures for make the playoff, like there's probably great value there, and it's not out of the realm of possibility that they can pull it off.
Yeah, I think it's too soon. Give Brom another 10-11 win season and Keenholz a full year of starting, and then another year. Maybe next year they could fight for that playoff.
We will go down to Louisville and talk with Dalton Pence. He's the Locked On Louisville podcast host in 2 minutes. It's Bishop and Friends on the Fan.
Common Man here for GoGermain.com. Are you in the market for a pre-owned vehicle? Yes? Stop what you're doing and check out GoGermain.com. They're having their biggest pre-owned sale of the year. Every single vehicle is on sale and comes with a 72-hour exchange policy plus a 3-month warranty. No one's going to sell you a car for less. They have over 4,600 cars to choose from with over 1,500 under $30K. So go for the biggest selection. Go for the lowest price. GoGermain.com. Tell them Common Man sent you.
Life is full of uncertainties. You can't control the economy, the prices at the pump, or the grocery store, and you certainly cannot control the weather. But the one thing you can control is your home's efficiency and comfort. Steve here from USA Insulation. Let us help you take back control of your home by insulating your walls with our premium foam. You give us a call today, we'll come out, we'll insulate your walls, and we'll throw in your attic for free. So give us a call today, 529-2440 or usainsulation.net.
USA Insulation. Hi, I'm Patty, founder of Awesome Tex. I started with a big idea to give old clothes a new life by turning them into recycled fibers and threads. Everyone told me that this was going to be impossible, but Chase for Business believed in me. They gave me a lot of guidance from the beginning.
Get financial guidance from bankers in the Columbus community and convenient digital tools all in one place. Learn more at chaseforbusiness.com. Make more of what's yours. Real customers compensated. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Factory direct is really pretty simple. The factory sells it directly to the consumer. I mean, we build it. There's nothing that anybody else does. We have stations where everybody touches the window. Everyone sees what's going on. So if there's an issue, we catch it as it's going down the line. That's probably the biggest thing, is the ability to make sure what goes out the door is what I want to go out the door.
Visit Rizzotti Windows and get 35% off all windows and doors by July 31st.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
We'll read your emails on the air, but we won't tell you where to send them. Hey, we're not doing all the work for you. This is Bishop and Friends.
Eric Reeser, Joshua Perry, Ryan Baker with you on a Thursday. The Louisville Cardinal, our 20 most interesting programs programmed today. We got out of the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline to have a Cardinal conversation with Dalton Pence. He's the host of the Locked On Louisville podcast. And Dalton, thanks so much for the time this morning. And for no real reason at all, I was thinking about sponsored jersey patches yesterday and this morning and how teams all over college football are looking to find money any place that they can. How's Louisville doing in this era with name, image, and likeness, with getting players the proper payout from the portal?
Yeah, no, first off, appreciate you all having me onto the show. It means a lot. It's interesting because, Louisville's not one of those schools that has the seemingly unlimited pool of money like some of the other programs you see out there in Texas and in the SEC across the country. But it seemed like the Cardinals were pretty innovative early on in the early days of NIL, and it gave them a little bit of a competitive advantage. And now you're starting to see schools kind of level the playing field and gain more of an advantage on the Cardinals because, like I mentioned, they've got a good amount of money, but it's not in that top tier, and they're one of the few schools that prioritizes basketball just as much as they do football. So it's a pretty interesting dynamic that I think they're navigating the waters just like everyone else is.
So you mentioned their creativity and being able to go out and get players. It seems like they had a pretty good transfer haul this year. How are those guys all acclimating, and who are the names to really look out for?
Yeah, from what I'm hearing, throughout spring ball, the additions that they made were living up to the expectation. And I mean, as you know, it all starts with the quarterback, and it starts with a quarterback that you all are likely familiar with Lincoln Kienholz, who, a lot of the success is depending on how good he is. You've got him. You've got Trey Richardson, the wide receiver from Vanderbilt, who's one of the most explosive players in the country at that position. You've got guys like Tyler Thompson and Cohen Intringer on the defensive side of the ball. But with Jeff Brom, every single offseason, most of your budget is being spent on the portal. That's how Louisville does it. They spend a good portion of their budget on the portal and supplement with high school recruiting.
You mentioned Jeff Brom, Louisville alum, back. This is going to be his fourth season, 28-12 so far on the job. How do the fans view everything that Jeff Brom has done so far? Are they happy?
Yeah, I would say the vast majority are happy. Look, we live in a society where it's not what have you done for me, it's what have you done for me lately, right? So kind of a rough go in 2025. You went into November with everything to play for, and you lost a couple games that you definitely should have won. So the positive is that the floor has been super high. You've won 9+ games in each of Brom's 3 seasons. unfortunately, the drawback has been that you've played meaningful football with seemingly your destiny and your fate in your own hands in November, and you've come up short and not been able to make that first college football playoff appearance. So I think it's not black and white. It's understanding that you're in very good hands with Jeff Brom. It definitely could be much worse. The issue is that the ceiling is in question. And for Brom to really, reach those new heights here in the Ville, you've got to be able to kind of check that box off and get to the 12-team college football playoff at some point in the near future.
Dalton Pence joins us, courtesy of the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Dalton is the host of the Locked On Louisville podcast. Dalton, when you talk with Louisville fans or when you interact with them on social media, game one of the season, September 6th against Ole Miss, what's the temperature of the fan base in regards to, is a win in Nashville is where that game's being played? Like, is that the expectation? Like, go in and beat that SEC team.
Yeah, I mean, look, one thing about Jeff Brom is, yes, his teams do unfortunately tend to lose to teams that they're not supposed to, but in return, playing an underdog Jeff Brom-led team, it's pretty dangerous. I mean, you saw what he did at Purdue and the upsets that he pulled off there, and Louisville in each of the past 3 seasons, they've beaten a team that they're not supposed to. Notre Dame was a top 10 team in 23. They beat Clemson on the road in 24, and then 25. Everyone remembers their upset win at Miami against a top 3 squad. So I'm not going to go as far as saying, like, if you lose this game, everyone's just going to kind of be panicking. But I think that there's a quiet optimism because Louisville fans know by now that Jeff Brom's teams in these key games, they tend to get up for it, and they're usually matching whatever intensity the other team is playing with. But, yeah, I mean, everyone has the high expectations of this is a roster with Isaac Brown coming back and Cleve Lubin coming back, that you have a legitimate chance with the schedule to make the playoff, but your schedule's not that great. So a win over Ole Miss would be huge.
So you mentioned kind of that dark horse thought process. The schedule lines up, and this is going to be a team that I think people underestimate regardless. But what would need to go right this season for them to actually make it to the college football playoff?
Yeah, no, that's a really good question. Look, I'm not naive to suggest otherwise. The way that it's really been going like this for a while, but this new era of college football where it's the SEC and the Big Ten and kind of everyone else, or at least in the eyes of the committee, you have to be better than SEC schools and Big Ten schools to get in if you're an ACC team. I mean, you just saw Miami last year be the last team added to the field despite going 10-2 and their losses being to a pretty solid Louisville and SMU team. That's a team that also beat Notre Dame and had some solid wins and some very, very good players. But I think that the most likely and the easiest way to get to the 12-team playoff is to just win the ACC. The CFP's put into effect to where you've got your 5 conference champions, but they're coming from the Power 4, and then you have one group of 6, so it's no longer the highest ranked conference champion. So the ACC is going to get a spot in, and that's the easiest way. It's the cleanest way because when you start talking about at-large bids, it gets super messy if you're an ACC team because you have to do more. You got to go above and beyond because you know that the committee is going to do everything in their power to put a team in from the SEC or the Big Ten over you. And it's not, complaining. It's just kind of the way things are. And you have to be honest with yourself about the struggles you're going to face if you're, relying on an at-large bid to make those dreams come true.
Miller Moss, the transfer from USC, had been the quarterback there, and we know he could sling the ball around a little bit. Lincoln Keenholz is a guy that a little more of an athlete. He can throw it, but he can also run it a lot. And I know the running back room is a strength of this Louisville team. What kind of offense do you think we're going to see this year from the Cardinals?
Yeah, I think last year the offense was held back by lackluster quarterback play. I thought at times Miller looked really solid, but other times just for whatever reason, didn't really meet expectations, and it kind of hurt the offense overall. Of course, running backs have to stay healthy, but you're going to see an offense that, it's a true pro-style offense. You're going to run the football Isaac Brown, Keelan Brown is that two-headed monster in the backfield. You've got Lincoln Keenholz, who brings a different element than Brom's offenses have had in the past with his ability to extend plays with his legs. Really interested to see what that looks like in this offense, but you don't go out and prioritize the weapons that you did via the portal if you don't have the expectations to throw the ball across the field. And I think that Trey Richardson is going to be one of the best receivers in the conference and one of the fastest in the entire country. So it's going to be an offense that spreads the target share and everyone's going to eat, but it's going to be one that's pretty unpredictable because this is probably the year with the most weapons that Brom has had, honestly, in his entire coaching career.
Yeah, Dalton, it'll be a fascinating ACC this season. You talk with what the portal work done by Brom in Louisville, James Franklin at Virginia Tech, Miami, even, Duke won the conference last year, like you had mentioned.
Yeah.
For the ACC, what do you think? Because last week with comments from Commissioner Jim Phillips, you're wondering, are they still going to have this kind of strength in 5 years? Like, what do you see from the ACC 5 years from now?
That's the $1 million question, or probably multi-million-dollar question. I have been an advocate for Louisville to try to be proactive and look into potentially moving to the Big 12 or doing whatever they can to get an entrance into one of those top two conferences. But there's a lot of moving parts, and I'm not overly confident that the ACC is being proactive in that realm, but I don't think they're doing a terrible job. They just have to stay proactive. That's what I'll continue to, reiterate time and time again, because the decisions being made across the national landscape are in the favor of the Big Ten and the SEC. Again, no sour grapes. It's just the way it is, and the way that you have to survive is by being proactive, and I'm hoping that the ACC can understand that. I think expansion is in the cards for them, no pun intended. And if they don't show the ability to take that step forward, or if they lose some partners like Clemson, Florida State, Miami, I hope the Cardinals are proactive rather than reactive. But for the time being, ACC made more money last year than they ever have. So I suppose a good step in the right direction.
Get the Locked On Louisville podcast wherever it is you do your podcasting. He is the host, Dalton Pence, joining us on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Dalton, thanks so much for the time. Appreciate the conversation. Enjoy the weekend.
Of course. Thank you all for having me.
Louisville's in such the spot. It's such an interesting spot, like so many other teams in the country, where you got to cobble together the NIL, you got to cobble together guys out of the transfer portal. But, I think back to Purdue in 2018.
Yeah.
And say, okay, that could be a giant killer.
Yeah.
Jeff Brom is your head coach with guys who maybe felt overlooked, guys that have maybe, felt passed up.
I know it was the
Things
Big
can
Ten
happen.
West, but they played for a Big Ten championship, right? Like this at Purdue, Jeff Brom did that. Like, it's not too crazy for me to think that they could have the right ingredients to be playing for a conference championship in the ACC.
We'll do three things on a Thursday. Next, Bishop and Friends on the Fan.
We're the highest rated sports radio station in America. There's no joke there. We just are. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
My AC stopped working. Your competition says it's fried. When I saw their cost to replace it, I could have just died.
We can give a second opinion, give you options and advice. We'll strive to earn your trust and make you a client for life.
Get a free second opinion, replace or repair.
Call 614-683-9911. Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
Summer is here, and there's no better time to upgrade your ride than at Germain Toyota of Columbus. Whether you're towing the boat, heading to the lake, or planning the ultimate family road trip, now's the time to save. Get $299 APR financing for up to 72 months on the 2026 Toyota Tundra, or lease the 2026 Camry LE for just $319 a month for 36 months and $399 due at signing and 10,000 miles per year. Make this your summer adventure with the team at Germain Toyota of Columbus, conveniently located at the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road, or shop anytime at germaintoyota.net. Germain Toyota of Columbus, where summer savings are in full swing.
This summer, there are 250 reasons to join T-Mobile.
Girls trip?
booked, and switching to T-Mobile helped make it happen.
With Experience Beyond, switch and get $100 back, plus $650 in value in built-in plan benefits. That's $750 in your first year, guaranteed.
And honestly, that $100 back, I'm putting it towards the zip line.
Now that's how you do summer.
Exactly. Best switch I ever made.
This is just one reason to join T-Mobile this summer. There are 250 reasons. Find yours.
Savings based on the value of benefits included with Experience Beyond, like entertainment and 1 year of AAA Classic and Dash Pass on us. Benefits may require activation. See plan for details. Get $100 via virtual prepaid MasterCard with eligible ported, no cash access, and expires in 6 months. Issued by Sunrise Banks and a member FDIC. Allow 8 weeks.
Out here, you know the drill. Animals are hungry, dogs are getting muddy, and you just noticed you're low on feed. Stocking up at Tractor Supply is easy on your wallet with our unbeatable prices on select shavings, retriever dog food, and Producer's Pride animal and poultry feed. From backyards to barnyards, we've got everything to keep your pets, animals, and livestock well fed and comfortable with low prices all summer. At Tractor Supply.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like public works supervisor.
Hey, this water main is under a ton of pressure. Did you ever fix it?
Yeah, 3 layers of duct tape. Wait, should I have added a 4th layer?
This is a job for sponsored jobs. This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
Thousands of students every year choose Columbus State Community College, earning degrees that open doors to in-demand jobs, stable careers, and real earning power. Columbus State is making Central Ohio stronger. Apply today at cscc.edu.
Common Man and Bob Capace here. So, Bob, you got this ring builder thing on your website.
Yep, you pick the diamond, the setting, customize your own engagement ring before you even come in this store.
I actually tried it.
You did?
It was ridiculously easy.
See, if Common Man can build a perfect ring online,
anybody can, because I'm dumb.
Then book an appointment and we'll help make it exactly the way you designed it.
That's why I always tell people, I know a guy. You too can design your own engagement ring with the ring builder at worthingtonjewelers.com. If I can do it, anyone can.
Worthington Jewelers, where Columbus gets engaged.
One bite in, you'll be saying, that's hot as fire. Speedway's new Hottest Fire Chicken Sandwich turns up the temp. Eat the heat for $4.99 only at Speedway. Valid through 8/25/26. Participating stores. Exclude Speedy Cafe. See app for full terms.
Mornings on the Fan have never been larger. T-Bone is large. Tybus is getting large. Get large with them. T-Bone and Tybus.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
Your home for large people and larger personalities. The Fan. All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Find us on YouTube. Search WBNS Radio and you can see what Bo looks like. But only if you subscribe. This is Bishop and Friends.
Daily Fan Poll sponsored by JT's Pizza and Pub. It asks, do you still care about high school recruiting in the transfer portal era? Just north of 100 votes at 971 The Fan on Twitter. It's 50-50.
I never really cared.
Same.
So I can't care any less than I already cared.
I understand and recognize its importance. I feel that it's the most undesirable part, I think, of the job.
Mm-hmm.
These coaches have to do is go in and try to recruit high schoolers and their parents and sometimes the third uncles. And I thought that 10 years ago, and I think it so now, where you've got to go and appease. And I don't. This isn't sour grapes with David Gabriel George, but to go in and have him tell you, all right, I'm going to need $1 million, $2 million a year.
Yep.
You're going to need to transport my family to and from away games. I'm going to need them to come to my announcement.
Yep.
And
I need the number 0.
I need the number 0.
And I need to start. Guaranteed. It's tough. Also, and this is why I love teachers, and I give them a ton of credit.
Mm-hmm.
You ever had a conversation with a 15-year-old, 16-year-old, 17-year-old? You ever done that? You know how hard it is to talk to them? Like, meet them where they're at?
Mm-hmm.
Skill.
A lot of bros in there.
I mean, bruh. Come on, bruh.
So it's important. We recognize it. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that if Ohio State is 7th, I think right now in the 24/7 composite, if they get number 1, I'm going to do backflips. If they are 10th, I'm going to say panic. You know, if guys, you miss out on David Gabriel George, that stinks, but it doesn't mean Ohio State's going to stink.
So there are people who will click on that fan poll and say that they really don't care about high school recruiting, that will flip out if the recruiting class doesn't look the way that they want it to look. And I just got to tell you, like, if you're saying that you're not going to be bothered, then you just don't be bothered at the end of it either.
And to David Gabriel George, I hope it works out. I hope he's successful. I hope he doesn't have to transfer. I hope everything works out for everybody.
If you feel like your market is $2 million and that's what you should command, and you go out there and you ask for it and somebody says, we'll give it to you, you played the game and you played it well, right? I'm not going to be mad at you for that. I just think my perspective on what the priorities need to be could be different. But once again, you start throwing all that stuff in there, it's hard when you're young to say no.
It's very different. And, you know, and I think to you, I think to Tyvis a lot, when you guys were coming out of high school and just what your requests were, if any, to Ohio State.
Yeah, my request is a spot on the roster, period, and we'll figure the rest out from there.
Time for 3 things.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3 things.
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
First thing for me, I want to give thanks to Dalton, Pence, Locked On Louisville, and all of our other guests this week for coming on for our 20 Most Interesting Program series. We're going to pop out of the ACC tomorrow and do Michigan State. The Spartans in year 1 under Pat Fitzgerald. SMU's the other ACC school on the slate. But we've got to have Bo in to talk about his beloved ponies. So when Bo returns from Montana on Monday, SMU will be the program in our 20 Most Interesting.
Yeah, shout out to Dalton and all the other people. And I kind of mentioned it earlier in the show, but if you're looking for news and you're looking for notes and you're looking for updates, these are the types of people that you need to follow. My first thing, so a little bit of inside radio here. When you come in, you plug in your headphones and you flip it on and you can hear all the stuff. And the thing that I've noticed is either my hearing has gotten really bad or Tyvis has elite hearing, because I have to bump up the headphones so much when I put them on. It's like a whisper when Tyvis is doing the show, and I think that's pretty amazing.
Or maybe he's just playing a trick on you and turning it down.
I don't think Tyvis is thinking at that level.
Not yet.
So first thing for me, and I don't know if this is bad on me or I'm just too trusting or I don't pay attention, but I took my cats in yesterday to get them fixed. Well, I got a little surprised when I took them in to get them fixed because I was told that I had 1 boy cat and 1 girl cat. I have 2 girl cats, and I was just told that. I never looked. I never paid attention. There's dark hair down there. I'm not looking in that area anyway, so... Unfortunately, now I have, instead of Cece and Bobbert, not unfortunately, I have Cece and Baberta, I guess. So.
I love that.
It's a good job out of you, though.
I didn't pay attention at all. I wasn't looking. No reason to look down there.
Over the last week, I've seen a lot of Tom Brady. He factors to be involved with everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I was maybe critical last week of the Fanatics Fest, where he's throwing a football to Gronk and who gets dunked into a Raising Cane's or a vat of Raising Cane sauce, and how everything's now just hyper commercialized. But with the Tom Brady movement towards the WWE, I do think he's great as a heel. Like, he would be a guy that people would boo. He can come off as the greatest athlete of all time and be super arrogant and it not be too much of a character. It can just be Tom. And he's been that forever. Leaning into it, I think, again, from a strictly hardcore ballet like wrestling is, makes the most sense in the world to have this guy come on and be smug. Logan Paul, I don't know if it's the folly, because you can't have 2 of the same person.
Right. Now I can see it because I'm just tired of seeing him. So he'd be a great heel because I want him off my teeth.
See, and you want him to get punched in the face.
Yes, absolutely. All right, so my second thing, a little James story for you. We're sitting on the couch yesterday. We're having a nice little back and forth, and I'm joking with him, and I'm saying some things that he doesn't necessarily agree with. So he looks me dead in the face, puts his paw right over my mouth, and says, "Relax, Daddy, relax. just relax. And it was the funniest thing that he's done.
R-E-L-A.
He was just, relax, Daddy, relax.
At least he's calling you Daddy again.
Yeah, I know.
Not Joshua. If he just said relax, Joshua, I might have lost
If he would have said
here.
relax, Joshua, he'd have been on the street.
The second thing for me, it has been amazing sleeping the last 2 nights with the windows open. This weather is what I'm talking about, and I can't. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, it's so chilly. If this was March, you'd be like, oh, it's so warm outside. I love this. Give me more of this.
This is preferable, waking up and having fall-like weather. John Gruden is going to be calling an NFL preseason game. He's going to be joined by Rondé Barber for the game between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Kansas City Chiefs in Tampa on August 22nd. Reminder, Gruden's still in an active lawsuit against the NFL, but I think it's, again, a good job out of the NFL in realizing this will drive people to a preseason game and sticking, not trying to mix business with the personal side of things.
He's popular and he's knows football, so it makes a lot of sense. All right, my final thing is another one pertaining to James. On my way home, my wife is like, you need to pick your boy up because he's getting on my nerves. Take him over to your parents' house, hang out there. I pull up to the house. She's standing on the porch. He's standing in the driveway with the backpack on. Like, she was that tired of him. He's just standing there waiting for me to pull up. Once again, hilarious.
Oh, James is the best.
He is.
He is the absolute best. Don't go anywhere. Your Thursday afternoon is taken care of with Rothman and Ice. Adam King in for Matty Ice. They'll do some Browns talk with Jake Burns at 12:30, and it is a Gold Jacket Thursday with Dave Casper.
We'll have more James stories, the Michigan State Spartans on 20 Most Interesting. Myself, Joshua, Ryan Baker back tomorrow, 9 to noon. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Winners of the prestigious Platinum Microphone Award every year, given to the best radio station in the world. No need to look it up. It's